Hey guys, we should be live right now. I have a quick update while people come into the room. I bought a lot of Pokemon cards yesterday. So if you have Pokemon cards, I am interested in seeing if I can buy them. I do think when we open the law firm, it will also be a BBQ counselor will watch his videos today. It will be a interesting thing to have a law firm that is also bought a lot of Pokemon. AD plus student, Aristic stipend. Let's pop up the chat. I got my evergreen clips on the side, which I like. You know, it's really good clips. Thanks, Alex. So we'll wait until people filter in. But yeah, these are the cards I got yesterday, among other cards. I got a Charizard from 151. I got a Mega Rayquaza from Evolving Skies. This is a $1,000 card now. I got a Sunbreon from Prismatic Evolution. I got a Umbreon, my second one from Evolving Skies, $2,000. And I got probably the card that I was looking forward to buying the most. Special delivery Bidoof. And I also got a lot of other stuff too. So it was we were in the heat for probably like 3 hours. Like it was crazy stuff. No, I didn't lowball them at 6%, Alex. No. I think like that's like crazy. Like, the lowball. Let's go. Now I have this clip. Thank you. Ristic Siphon. We have this. Let me put on my ear.
So to recap,
but yeah, I mean, I don't know how you can be a business and lowball people, because I feel like the community would know this is what you do. Like, I don't get how this is like even like good. I don't understand. Like, if you lowball somebody, they're never going to come back again.
store number 1 offered us in cash 18% of the true value of our figures. Store number 2 offered 6%. Store number 3 offered 19%. And store number 4 offered 10%.
Look, if you are so like up hard for cash, you shouldn't be buying people's Legos at 6%. You should be trying to like reconfigure your business model, right? Oh, hey, JD. So JD has always been super interested in the Stuttering John, the Sully Algar versus Stuttering John. I honestly have not looked at that, JD. It has been a while. I have looked at all. I mean, we have a Discord channel, and I know it's on Discord. Yeah, I got all my, thank you, Ristic Siphon. I got all my favorite clips here, including Roll Down Your Window, the apology, and then apology gets rejected. Can you imagine a police department where they make apology? So the chief of police apologizes, the lead guy apologizes, then the guy that you got in conflict with apologizes, and then straight after the apology, he goes on to lie in his police report, and the apology has now been rejected. Here's the crazy part about the Reckless Ben. So we were looking at this last night. So I was actually on Discord of Alex like late last night. I think it was like 1:30 my time. Alex is out in California, so his time is a little different. But yeah, I found the doc and I was like, whoa, what is this thing? So always look at the doc, right? So the motion, everyone's like, okay, cool. Bam, franchising, I'm on. Plaintiffs agree with defendants. Everything looks good, right? Here's, everyone's signatures on it. Okay, it looks good. And I was like, wait, we're missing a signature. The judge. Where is the judge's signature? And we have the proposed, right? And then we have this. So the judge, actually, it was like a honeypot type of deal, guys. Let me tell you how bad this could have been. Let me tell you how bad this could have been. This could have been very bad. Dude, I hate... whatnot. Okay, hold on. This could have been incredibly bad. So I have my chat on. I'm on my chat, guys. What if You know, Reckless Ben released this video yesterday. Oh, hey, Billy. Preach, it's why these stores are empty besides Toy House new sets. Yep, because they're buying from distributors or vendors and built used sets. I don't know anyone who has enough customers to burn. It's not only like you burn one customer, like, so like when I owned a store, we always were like super kid friendly. We always give kids deals, and there are people who like don't want to do that, which is weird, right? But you want families to come in, you want their families to bring somebody else. You want this kid to tell other people interested. Obviously, he has friends in high school, his friend who went with him. To grow a business, you really need a community, right? You cannot do it without a community. And for you to blatantly steal and rip off people from your community, just like from a business sense, it never makes any... Yeah, the TORO is still in effect. The TRO is still in effect. Yeah, Billy's great. We're trying to get Billy to do a live. Oh, special announcement. Sheldon, this Sheldon here is going to join us tomorrow. So we will have Sheldon on an interview tomorrow. More to come later. So, team, and shout out to the call-in and the team. I just found out this on Discord like today. But it will be 1 p.m. means less than... my time is noon. I stream at noon. So anyway, I'm getting confused. But anyway, so in this case, everyone's like, oh, okay, cool. Everything's good. But then this guy comes down, this judge. And he's like, no. So the motion for modification... So the TRO is still up. The temporary restraining order. It has not been modified because the judge has rejected it. So I saw this. I was like, okay, I don't know what that means. That's kind of weird. And then I saw it not signed. Okay, that means the judge. So whose signature is not on here? There's only one signature who's not on here, and that is the judge, who also is doing... Maybe he's busy, right? He's got a lot of stuff to do. But as you can see, there is no signature. There is no stamp. In Utah, they have a stamp, right? There is not that. So then we go here, and we find out that... Oh, hold on a second. What is this? Modified TRO not signed by court, as following section is very broad. Very broad, he says. So the reason he didn't want to sign is he thought the motion was too broad, which we might laugh, right? We might laugh and say, oh, that's really funny, because the TRO itself is very broad and just incredibly bad. But he's right. So if you go back to the original document, it's actually not good. So I'm going to say this, it's not good. And had Reckless Ben signed this, so the judge is actually doing Reckless Ben a favor. Now, there is a potential honeypot trap where Reckless Ben releases part free, and like this, for instance, like how can you... Okay, so let me make this bigger. How can you even say that? So this makes the BAM attorneys look like asses, because they are. Entering, remaining at filming, blocking access to, approaching within a defined distance, not so 100 yards. Plaintiff, franchise stores, offices, warehouses, franchise locations, parking areas, employee homes. So, think about this. How would Ben know, if you're an employee of Bricks and Minifigs? He doesn't. He doesn't. Right? So, how can Reckless Ben stay away 100 yards from you? It doesn't make any sense. So, when I read this, I made a mistake. I think I was just so happy that, the TRO was going to go away. We were going to get part free. I was like, oh, yeah, this is all great. We're all hunky-dory, right? But I didn't actually think about this for a moment, right? And he's right. You know what? He's right. I don't think any lawyer can look at what he said and be like, no, he's not right. No, he's right. So how would he know about this? You know, like, so this part here is way too broad. There's no way that Reckless Ben knows every single employee, every single franchise owner's home and where they live. You know, like that would be very strange. But anyway, so that's part one, and I agree. I agree. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but it's kind of like it makes sense when I go over. So this is it. Let me get a little bigger. So yeah, how would he know? It's very broad, as it's unknown if the defendant knows. So it's unknown if Reckless Ben or Brian Menzel or Victor Nguyen or any of the Does, which probably includes Sheldon as well. Sheldon, Tyler, Sierra, the process server, I assume, which I think has been confirmed, and franchises are, and which location as it relates to entering, remaining at, filming, blocking access to, or approaching within a defined distance, not less than 100 yards. Yeah, I mean, how in the world is Ben going to know? Like, so they can trespass him. That they can get him, like, employees change, franchises change. It's so. I recognized the problem, but I didn't realize the problem was like this massive. So again, this is very, very broad. This is like everybody, right? Plaintiff, franchise store, offices, warehouses, franchise locations, parking areas, employee homes, or franchise homes hereafter, except through counsel, law enforcement. So he's quoting the actual document saying, hey, you guys need to figure this out, because there cannot, I mean, you can't possibly ask Reckless Ben to do this. Reckless Ben has no idea. Like, it's just, it's physically impossible to do this. Okay. So, interesting. I don't know what is happening right now, and I guess we are not going to go over this today. Yeah, this is a very, okay, so give me a second. Oh, yeah. I'm getting urgent text messages. Okay. All right, so we'll move on. I received the urgent text messages from the individuals, and okay. So I don't really know what's happening here, but a lot is happening. Okay, so let's I guess let's move on, right? Entering, remaining at, filming, blocking access to, or approaching within defined. So again, this is taken straight from the modification. So this itself is way too broad. The modified TRO also does not address the videos that were taken down. So I don't know if any videos. I don't know if Reckless Ben took down any videos. I think that would be weird. Like, I don't see that Reckless Ben took down any videos. Reckless Ben now has taken down videos in before, but I don't know if he's taken down videos for this specific situation. Maybe breaking news. We'll see. We'll see what my sources tell me. But yeah, it's always a little bit behind, so I'm a little scattered right now. Let me kind of go back. Let's watch a funny clip. Let's watch a funny clip, and then we'll watch Reckless Spineless Ben going on a date. And then
Hello. That individual just called because he's had a few weird incidents.
Oh, actually?
Sorry?
Oh, actually, I'm just waiting here for one of my friends.
Where's your friend at?
I think she lives in this house, so I'm going on a date today, so I'm just
Oh, gotcha.
picking.
It's kind of a weird spot to park at, right in front of the driveway.
Oh, I'm in front of the driveway? I thought this was like a... I thought it was in the middle of the driveway. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
okay, we can replay this clip later. Okay, so that's basically what it is. The TRO is too much. The TRO actually would hurt Reckless Ben had the TRO been modified. So there's two things here. One, when both lawyers agree and both parties agree, all parties, and Brian Menzel is also a party. When all the parties agree to something, it doesn't actually make it approved until you have a judge's signature. And even if you have a judge, here is my famous case that I've done, the tentative ruling. Even if the judge is 100% in your corner, until he signs the paper, it doesn't mean it. Let me tell you what happened in this case. This is our good friend Denins. Denins and me, we are not good friends together. That's a joke. I don't like Denins. Denins doesn't like me. So on June 4th, she read a tentative reading which said that she won. So all she did online was brag about winning, just posted video after video. Everyone just attacked me like crazy because they thought she won. We are currently in June 25th. And there's still no actual document. No final. So, like, when you talk about courts being slow, they are very slow. So, like, the one thing that I heard that I wanted to talk about is even if they do modify this, so both lawyers have to agree again. They have to remove this. They clearly have to remove this section or redefine it more narrowly. The judge could still take a lot of time to approve it. Judges are typically very slow creatures, right? So again, this is a very good case. I want you guys to learn something every day from what we cover. This is a very good case of somebody celebrating way too early, and you know every video this and that. Yeah, it's crazy. It's almost a month, and she still hasn't won yet. And the longer this drags. So I'm not telling you guys this. I hope the TRO goes away today or tomorrow, but I wouldn't expect it, given the current speed of judges. Judges are slow. Judges are slow, right? So in the Denins case, you actually had a judge rule for Denins 100%, totally on Denins' side. He still hasn't signed off on it. So anything and everything can happen. And this is the honeypot thing I said about Reckless Ben. So Reckless Ben on his Patreon said he can speak now. The TRO is over. So Reckless Ben even believes the TRO is over. Many lawyers online believe, including myself at the time, the TRO was over. Hey, Symphonia. So everyone is saying the TRO is. I mean, how many times can we look at this? So everyone's telling Reckless Ben, including Reckless Ben himself, believes the TRO is over. They call it the gag order, right? Like, I can look at all the... good friend BBQ Counselor, we'll get to his video. I love BBQ Counselor. He's one of the best channels, I think, that covering this. And he should be a lot bigger. Gag order removed. So they call it a gag order. Gag order removed. Gag order update. Gag order unconstitutional. Yeah, I think it is. Lawyers strike down the gag order. So everyone's like, oh, okay, cool. The gag order is done. Agreed to modify gag order. But the judge never signed it. So even Reckless Ben on his Patreon today, or yesterday, he was like, I can speak. I saw he made a 3-minute video update. I don't want to show it to you because then you know, like it's a paywall, right? So he has a paywall. But everyone, including Reckless Ben, believed that like, oh hey, the TRO, we beat it. We beat everyone and we beat it. And so earlier this morning, like then people were saying, oh here. But like it actually doesn't. Yes, correct. TR is not removed from the TRO yet. So you're seeing the updates this morning, right? Which includes my update. But at the time, last night, even on Reddit, everyone was saying, oh, part 3 is coming out. Part 3 is coming out. Part 3 is coming out, right? Nah, the judge never signed it. And not only did the judge not sign it, he's saying, I am not going to sign it. He's telling you he's not going to sign it until this part is done. So you never know. And had Reckless Ben believe, and he did believe it, because on his Patreon, he has a video saying, oh, part 3 is coming now. I have freedom of speech again. Had he actually just uploaded his part free, he would be in a shit ton of trouble right now. So, until you get a judge's signature, or in Utah, which I haven't seen in any other states, they have like a little stamp. And the stamp is a signature, which is cool, I guess, but yeah. So the TRO has not been modified. Reckless Ben cannot... that means the TRO is still active. Yeah, I would not be surprised if one of his lawyers said, just to be extra safe, let's wait a week. So Sheldon was saying that they were going to wait a week, 2 weeks, something like that, right? But I'll give you one hypothetical. Had Reckless Ben did part free, he would have violated his... had Reckless Ben uploaded part free yesterday or today, or he would have been hit so hard under the TRO. So I don't know if this is Bricks and Minifigs, like, being deceptive. I mean, they're already, like, asking for a shit ton. And actually Reckless Ben agreed to it. And I would actually agree to the judge. No one can do this. Exactly what the judge says. How does the defendant, Reckless Ben, Brian Menzel, Sheldon, Tyler, the Does, right, know who the employees are? He doesn't. So if he doesn't know who all the employees... Bricks and Minifigs has 300 plus stores and locations. Right? I don't know how many employees they have, but probably over 1,000. So if Reckless Ben doesn't know who the employees are, how is he going to stay away from them? So had the judge signed this... I mean, outside of Reckless Ben going to Mexico, where they don't have Bricks and Minifigs yet, there would be really no way for him to be completely safe. This is so broad, right? This is so broad. Like, there's no way that he would know where every employee lives from Bricks and Minifigs. There's no way that he would know where every single franchisee lives, right? And there's no way that he knows the parking areas, the leases, like all, like it's wild, right? Part of what I think happened was Ben's lawyers probably had to rush this out. Remember yesterday we found out that Ben had lawyers in the civil lawsuit. So I think they didn't really have enough time to look over stuff. It was kind of like a rush situation. It was a really important, like, again, when I read, I don't, no salt on the lawyers. When I read this, I didn't catch this either. I don't think anyone did. You had how many lawyers, how many YouTubers, how many people read this document yesterday, and I don't think a single person caught this, right? You had how many people live streaming, making videos, talking about it, right? Like, but like no one said, wait a second, yeah, it's the same thing as Denin's. Like, Denin's, Hassan Piker, all of Denin's friends, H3 Snark, everyone was like, yeah, man, yeah, we did it. And then 21 days later, they're still waiting for something. And the longer they wait, the more likely the judge will flip. So, like I said, until you see this guy's signature, Ben should not be talking. He should not be posting on social media. He should not be putting out part free, right? It's a honey trap. I don't know if that was their intention. Like, the Bricks and Minifigs' intention was to honey trap them, right? But, yeah. It's very, very, very strange. Okay, so that's the part I wanted to go over. So that's part 1. Part 2, I want to say, and the judge can take his time. So the judge, let's say the Bricks and Minifigs attorney, again, the Bricks and Minifigs attorney can see the, no, but it would be very easy for me to go there. So let me exit out of here. So people are saying there is currently a update. There's an update to the criminal trial. Let's take a look. Stalking her. Do we know which one it is? It's American Fork or it's Provo? Well, let's take a look at both. Docket. When was this? 6/20. Oh, this was yesterday. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so what happened? Revenue detail. Defendant. Okay, what happened on 6/24? This is the criminal, by the way. Stipulated motion to continue waiver hearing. Notice to submit decision. Order granted. Okay, so let's take a look at 4139. So these are his lawyers. Yes, these are his lawyers. What happened to 40? This is 40. These are the warrants. This is 38. Oh, here we go. Jeremy DeLincio. That's Ben's lawyer. Yeah, that's Ben's lawyer. And John Williams is Ben's. So they have, the state of Utah has these two guys, Christine Scott and Jeremy Gray. I don't see anything on this case right now. But I did get updated, right? This matter has, this was yesterday. Yeah, this was yesterday. Okay, so it has been updated. So this is all new stuff, guys. We are breaking the news. This probably was uploaded sometime today or last night. The matter has come before the court based on stipulated motion to continue the waiver hearing and stipulation of parties. It is hereby ordered that motion be granted and hearing in the above entitled case. So, oh, wow, okay. The hearing got moved back. Currently scheduled for July 1st. Be stricken and a waiver hearing be scheduled. Okay, so this is what a good lawyer can do. The first thing a good lawyer is going to do is they're going to buy you time. They're going to buy you time. So, one thing I want you to know, as we go to the Proton docs, he has a criminal. You always have the right to a jury trial in criminal. So this is the June 20. Oh, okay, good. The stipulated motion to continue waiver hearing was filed with the court on June 24th. Because the motion was stipulated by state, it is properly before the court for a ruling. So remember, he had like a June 24th thing that got moved. This is all June 24th. There's a lot of activity going on. Defendant moves the court to enter an order continuing the waiver hearing scheduled for July 1st. Mr. DeLanzio and great. Okay, so this is why. These guys are going to be in a jury trial in Utah under this case. Utah in USA versus Brown. So the reason that they had to move back and the more time you have, the better it is these lawyers are actually real lawyers, not YouTubers. Let me explain to you again. Where's my, do I have like a law thing when I rant about like lawyers not being lawyers? Oh, no, I do not, but I have other stuff. Okay, let me explain something. Real lawyers are actually in jury trial. Like, this is very good to know, is the reason that this thing got delayed. So it's supposed to be July 1st, but it cannot be July 1st, which is my birthday, by the way. Is because these two lawyers, both of the defense, these are the criminal defense attorneys, are in trial. That's what you want to see, guys. You don't want to see hire a YouTuber. That's why they moved it back. You don't want to see a YouTuber like, hey, I hired this YouTuber to go to trial, and before trial, he's live streaming, collecting donations, and doing sponsorships, right? Hey, guys, do you guys want to take my prebiotic alcohol beverage? Legal Eagle. Do you guys want to take this creatine or whatever, this protein shake, right? No. There is, that's not, these people actually got to go to trial. They don't have time. These people, they don't have time to live stream every day. They have like actually important things to do with their lives, right? Not that live streaming is not important, but like compared to like a jury trial where it's like USA versus Brown, that sounds kind of important, no? All right. So again, they had to push it back. This is so we're going to look at both. People don't understand this. Yeah, they see it. Okay, so this is they paid $25, I guess. Oh yeah, this was $520. So okay, so they moved it back a lot. Okay, let me exit out. Let me show you. So that was interesting. This is interesting because of the fact that they're real lawyers, right? So let me say to you, like there are. So this case is civil. This case, trespassing, disorderly conduct, is criminal. Okay, so it's different. You have to look at these two different cases. And then this one is quite interesting. I think this one is the most interesting so far. This is a civil rights case. So when you talk about civil, I'm not talking about I'm talking about civil versus criminal. But civil rights, yes, it is civil, but it's like the government has violated your First Amendment. The government has violated your Fourth Amendment. The government has violated, or the government in this case, the police, right? So this is very interesting here because proposed criminal appearance, copy of video audio. I don't know when this has last been updated, but let's take a look. Let's take a look at the docket first. And this is also a different case. So this is the case. So the American Fork, Provo, Utah. I think that is okay. So let me clarify this. This is even confusing for me. Okay, here we go. This is the civil lawsuit. This is Bricks and Minifigs suing Ben, Brian Menzel, and so on. This is Gorman suing Bricks and Minifigs. This is the lawsuit that happened. The trespassing and disorderly conduct is in a different county. It's in the Provo County, and it's in Provo County because that was the Bricks and Minifigs corporate. So in this lawsuit, Ben has 3 civil attorneys. And this lawsuit, Ben has 2 criminal defense attorneys. And in this lawsuit, there are 3 lawsuits for Ben. So there's 4 lawsuits total, but regarding Reckless Ben, there's 3 lawsuits. He was also sued for this. Or he also has a criminal thing for this. And then it's the same lawyers. Because it's Utah. So he got hit 2 times in Utah. One by the American Fork Police, and then one by whatever the other police was on the let's clarify what the other what maybe it was the American Fork Police. I don't think it should be, but maybe it was. Let's clarify in the docket what it was. Like everything you need to know is in the docket. Everything you need to know is in the docket. So it's Provo City. So it's not the American Police Department. It's the Provo City. So there are 2 different police departments here. Guys, so there's 2 different police departments here that have charged Reckless Ben with criminal. So people have to understand, like, there's not just what, like, this is confusing to a lot of people. It's even kind of confusing to me because he has 2 criminal lawyers. They're both defending him on these 2 cases. One case, the case that never gets talked about, is the one in Provo. The one in Provo is because Reckless Ben went to corporate. So who is charging him in Provo is the Provo police. So you have 2 different police departments, Provo and American Fork. Everyone is so hyper-focused on American Fork that they forgot there is another lawsuit pending in Provo. And the lawsuits are for different things, right? So the lawsuit here is for stalking, Class A this misdemeanor, and targeted residential picking, which is, them putting the sign up, right? That's actually, weird. So they have a different judge. Everything is different. So there's actually 4 cases if you include Crystal's case. There's 2 criminal cases against Ben, and you have to beat both of them. Yeah, this is something that people call stacking. So, like, this is the American Fork Police. Then you have the Provo City Police, right? And this is his bail. This is the bail that he had paid. So, the question if you're ever confused about something in a lawsuit, always, and it looks like this has been updated as well, because again, these lawyers are. Ben hired 2 lawyers. These lawyers are really good because they have other jury trials to go to. So they cannot, like, whatever Ben's schedule was, where Ben was like, oh, yeah, cool, I agree. Ben, do you want to meet here next week? Yep, I'm good. That schedule now is out the window. Right? Remember, one of the things, there's an audio of Ben talking to a judge, and he was late to the meeting because he didn't at that time he didn't have a lawyer. And then the judge is like, oh, well, do you want to meet next week or 2 weeks from now? And Ben's like, yep, that's not going to happen anymore, right? So criminal is criminal, right? Yes, a criminal charge is criminal, guys. So if I mispronounce or say something, please don't nitpick. It is just what it is, right? So there was updates on all 3 cases at the same time last night. And this is the first. So this is the warrant. Yeah, people don't understand there is another case against Ben. It's not just the American Fork Police Department. There is literally another case against Ben. And we're going to see yes, in a criminal case, which these are, you have the right to a speedy trial, 100%. Case activity. Let's take a look. They received a notification. Okay, so I think I'm in the wrong one. And it's really easy. So the stalking and target, that's American. Yeah, that's the American Fork. Okay. I'm in the right one. So this is American Fork. They just look identical because it's the same law firm, okay? The matter having come before the court based on the stipulation. Yeah, I think this is exactly the same thing. So they're in court July 1st, and now they're going to go August 12th. Utah 4th District, Utah County, that looks right. Utah County District Attorney's Office, Mary Schwam. Notice to submit decision. Let's see when this was. Honorable. So Thomas Lowe is a judge here. This is American Fork Department, Police Department. Same lawyer, same thing. Yeah, so this actually they did a lot. There was a lot of activity going on. So they're saying, hey, okay, God, this is the different one. Okay, so this is slightly, so the timeline has shifted and it's pushed back quite a bit on both cases. Yeah, different judges, different cases, different police departments. So this one is a different police department completely. So that was Thomas Lowe was a judge. Stephen Schneider is a judge. 2 judges, 2 different judges, 2 different plaintiffs. Same lawyers for the defendant. So the defendant is the same. It's Reckless Ben. It's only Reckless Ben. The defendants are the same. Different police department, different case number. I assume different arrest date. Different bail. Oh, remember, the bail in American Fork was a lot heavier than this. The bail here was like almost nothing. So there was no bail actually here. Case was filed by... So this is the one that no one has really covered that much. So this is not the American Fork Police Department. This is the Provo Police Department. Steve, so there's a judge, clerk, continuance, remote appearance. Okay. This I think this is the one that Ben appeared for himself. The defendant is not in custody. This hearing will not take place at the courthouse. It will be conducted remotely. Okay. Then they took a little bit more money from Ben for the creating the audio request. And yes, then they have updated. So the lawyer has been very busy. They have a request for discovery. Oh wow. Okay, where's that? Okay, this case is going somewhere. They have a request for discovery. I didn't know any of this stuff. Like the stuff is moving so fast. It's hard to keep up with it. Okay. This is the request for discovery by the attorneys. This is killer, guys. I love this stuff. This is like the nerdy stuff you would. Okay, so they're asking. So this was what day was this? The 24th. They're asking. We want any evidence which tends to negate the guilt of defendant, mitigate the guilt, or mitigate the degree of the offense that has been discovered by any member of the agencies involved in the investigation or prosecution of the above entitled case. And, of course, everyone knows this case. If you don't know the Brady case, Brady versus Maryland, yeah, it's a pretty big case, right? They have Brady rules. Any evidence that has been discovered by any member of the agencies involved. So they're in discovery. So the Ben's attorneys have been doing work. They haven't just been sitting there, paddling, fumbling. No. They have actually asked for discovery in the Provo case. A list of witnesses, any training certifications by the law officer. Oh, geez. Training, all field information, cards, police investigation, follow-up. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty, they know what they're doing, right? More than I do when it comes to criminal. I don't do criminal. Booking sheet, booking photograph, rap sheet, any video, audio, okay? It's all coming out. So from this, it will be very interesting to see, wow, 32. This is Ben's attorney saying, hey, you under the law owe us every shred of evidence that you have. Now give it to us. Appearance. So where they did it, they literally. So many people asking like, how can they these guys didn't make a mistake in my opinion, but how can these civil? Because they literally announced on this day, hey, I'm the attorney for Ben. So this guy literally said on the 24th, which was yesterday, hey, I'm the attorney for Ben. And then within a span of 1 day, which was 1 day, he filed all of this. So in 1 day, he filed an appearance of counsel, which says, hey, Ben has an attorney now. He filed a request for discovery. He filed a return of electronic notification, appearance of counsel. So this is probably the other attorney. Ben has two attorneys, right? This is attorney 1, this is attorney 2. Attorney 1 didn't even wait for attorney 2. He just filed a request for discovery. That, again, they probably filed everything at the same time. But I'm just saying it's kind of funny sequentially. Attorney 1 is like, hey, dude, this is urgent. I got to file. Cool. And then he's like, oh, and then the judge's like, oh, cool, we got your filing. And they was like, oh, I'm attorney 2. Oh, cool. The court's like, oh, we got your filing. And now we had to answer to request for discovery. Okay, that's here, right? No, this is return of notification. Oh, okay, here. And now it ticks, right? So the timer has started. The Provo Court Justice is saying to the police department, okay, get your shit together. The time is ticking. So that's what the judge, it's automatic. So on the 24th, it's up to the police now to come up with all discovery that would be beneficial to Reckless Ben. So this is very good news. I mean, in a very short period of time, So this is Provo. Provo is not American. Provo is not these guys. Provo is not these guys here. Okay.
I don't know if you've ever been tackled.
So that is not Provo. That would be an American Fork Police Department. So that's the American Fork. That is not the Provo City Police Department. So, shout out to Sheldon again, who will be on tomorrow. Hopefully we get everything scheduled correctly. So, interesting enough, they have done a shit ton since that time. Since they became Ben's attorneys, they have been incredibly active. And now, the request for discovery, so the answer to request for discovery has to come from the police department. Or the prosecution's office, some type of combination where the police have to hand it over to the prosecution's office. And this will be the first time any evidence that is helpful to Ben will be presented. So the judge is saying, hey, you guys are on the clock now. So this is the first win for Ben. This is the first win for Ben because now, so the ball was always like, being shoved into Ben's face and stuff. Now the ball is in the court of the police. And if the police doesn't have evidence, or they have evidence that would exonerate Ben, they have to turn over everything. That's why you do this. That the first thing you did was file a request for discovery. In fact, they probably did, if they did this electronically, which probably makes sense, the first lawyer was so intent on the request for discovery, he didn't even wait for the second lawyer to announce himself, right? He just said, no, I'm going to announce myself, and now I'm going to, and actually, I can look at this. This is so funny. They thought it was so important to file a request for discovery that the second lawyer, so John Williams is the second lawyer, okay? Is he the first or second? I think he's the second. Yes, Jeremy is the first lawyer. Okay, so the sequence of events happening is hilarious. So Jeremy, first, he files this online. I'm assuming they did this online. Hey, I'm Ben's attorney. Cool. He doesn't wait a bit. And I think Jeremy, because it's only Jeremy's signature on it, I think. Is it? Yes. Look. So what happened was Jeremy filed, he said, I raised my hand, I'm Ben's attorney. I want discovery. You give me everything I need. The 7 pages. And then Jeremy signs off on it. Okay? And then later, and then the police say, oh, okay, we received the notice, request for this. Cool. It's automated. That's automated. And later, John signs, but John didn't actually sign the request for discovery. That was Jeremy. So they had no time for John to sign. Like they were taking this very seriously, guys. They're not screwing around here, guys. Like, I love Reckless Ben, but holy shit, did he screw around a lot, right? These two lawyers, upon like announcing they were lawyers, boom, right? And they didn't just do it this for one case. So this is not American Police Department, okay? They did it for the second one too, which is the American Police Department. We'll take a look at here. I don't think they did discovery on them. Interesting. Maybe these are moving at 2 different rates. Hold on a second. Oh, you know why? Because, I got it. Okay. So we knew these guys were the lawyers before Provo. So on the 18th, they already said, hey, I'm a lawyer. So on the 18th, okay, this makes perfect sense. So against the American, so they had 2 cases, American Fork and Provo City. They actually decided, as soon as they became lawyers, on the 18th, they decided to take American Fork. So they asked, they may not even have known there was a second lawsuit until like the 24th. So the timelines are crazy here. The timelines are not parallel like I thought. So these two lawyers filed a request to appear as a appearance or counsel on the 18th versus American Fork, but they filed one for the 24th against because they thought American Fork was more deadly to them, and which, let's be honest, is true, right? No one's going to say that's true. So their file for appearance actually appears on the 18th, and that's how we knew that Ben had lawyers. But at that time, they were lawyers for the American Fork only. They only became lawyers for the Provo police on the 24th. Wow, that is wild, right? I'm trying. Okay, so here we go. It starts here. So this is when John D. Williams is a second attorney. Yeah, request for this. So they use the same playbook, which is smart. So okay, on the 18th, Jeremy raises his hand and says, "I'm the lawyer. I'm the counsel on record." So this happened on 18th. Then Jeremy files this, which is again discovery. And Jeremy says, "Oh, we want discovery. We want all this good stuff." Jeremy signs off on it on the 18th. And then right after, John says, "Oh, I raised my hand. I'm the second lawyer." And then everyone receives the documents because it's electronic. So they are filing this electronically. How do we know? It's literally in red ink. Okay, and then here's more electronic filing. Cool. We received it. We received your electronic filing on the 18th. So we're still on the 18th on this docket. So this is how we knew. So we had this request for audio recording. We want the audio recording. And we'll pay a little bit of money for it. Thank you. Defendant. Oh, here's interesting. So then the defendant is like, "Oh, we need to move our case because we're busy that day with another jury trial." And then all this stuff happened. So that was on the 24th, I think. Yes. Okay. So, on the 18th, they already entered the discovery mode. And then on the 24th, I think they realized they just had the jury trial set. And they said, "Oh, well, we can't go to your hearing on the 1st. We need to move the hearing, back." And then, so this was set June 26th. So this gives them time. So what they're doing is super smart. They don't have, if Reckless Ben hired them on the 18th and the 24th, he hired them for two different cases. Right? They hired them for two different cases, guys. And two different judges with two different court systems. Or two different courts, if you will. Same court system, but two different judges, two different courts. They need to buy time. So this thing, like, you guys might be like, "Oh, why does it have to drag out?" Isn't, no, so people asking about criminal speedy trial. In this exact case, you do not want Reckless Ben and his attorneys on July 1st. That's not enough time. It's simply not enough time, guys. But yes, in both cases, discovery has been sent. So, like, July 1st, we're talking less than a week. We're talking, like, are we talking next week? So, both of these were actually, so without these two attorneys, what would have happened is Reckless Ben would have just appeared himself with no evidence, no discovery. And he would be like, "Hey, cool." No, this gives these two guys time to collect the discovery, to look at the discovery, and to figure out, how we're going to attack this problem. This is not one lawsuit, but this is two lawsuits, right? Yeah, so most times, speedy is better, especially if you're in jail. If you are in jail with no bail, this is why we actually have a right for a criminal trial. So in a criminal trial, we have the right to in a criminal case, we have the right to a speedy trial because there are people literally in jail right now who either doesn't have bail or cannot afford bail. In fact, a problem with our legal system, I'm going to tell you right now that I have a big problem with. There are a lot of people being charged for very minor crimes, and because they're poor, they can't afford the bail. So they're just sitting in jail. And jail is not a fun place to be sitting. Now, Reckless Ben's situation is different, right? Because he's not in jail right now. But if he was in jail right now, then maybe his lawyers do have to do July 1st and just kind of have to crunch down, get him so. But because he's not in jail right now, what is the point of why would you want your lawyers to go at? They literally learned about a new case on the 24th on the Provo side. And you want to get them to go in next Wednesday, less than a week later. They're supposed to understand the case with no discovery elements given, right? So, yeah, that's why I'm saying, if you are in jail, that's when the speedy trial wants to kick in, because maybe the judge didn't give you bail, or maybe most likely you cannot afford bail. There are a lot of predatory bail systems out there. When you watch Dog the Bounty Hunter, do you know who he's hunting? People who skip bail. All these bounty these bounty hunters in real life, right? Who are they hunting? They're hunting people who skip bail, okay? That's who they're hunting. Because if they can hunt them down and bring them back to the police, then they get paid out, right? Yeah, they didn't want Ben to have bail, and that's kind of ridiculous. Yes, okay, so the way that bail works, again, this is my understanding of bail. I'm not a criminal defense attorney or a prosecutor. Let's say bail is $10,000. You give them $10,000, or you often use a bail company, and the bail company will say, hey, does your mom have a home? We'll put $10,000 up against the home. So if you run away, so let's say the bail's in Utah County. The court case is the criminal case is in Utah County. You put up bail $10,000 in Utah County. You use a bail because you don't have $10,000 in cash with you. Or let's say you put up $100,000. Let's just use a crazy number. You put up $100,000 because that's what the American Fork Police Department want. That's what the prosecution wants. That's what the judge agreed to. Nobody has $100K in cash, right? Unless you're a business owner. Okay, you have $100,000. Where are you going to get that? Well, there are a million different bail companies that say, hey, we're going to charge you interest. We're going to give you the $100,000. We'll pay off the court directly to make sure that the $100,000 isn't for gambling or something. And we'll take your home. Whatever equity, or if you own your home, we'll take your home, we'll take your car, we'll take the title of your car. Now, if you run away from Utah County, if you run away to go to Mexico or Canada, the bail is forfeited, so the court keeps all $10,000 in their pocket. And you now lose your home, your title, your car, whatever you put up to the bail company is now gone because they cannot recover the $10,000 in interest. So it's a very complicated, very, very sick system, guys. It is a system meant to I studied this in law school, and it was I want to throw up, man. It was there are a lot of people who the evidence is very mild, and their criminal actions are, very, very mild actions. And they're just sitting in jail for 90 days. Because they, it's it's Now, where the dog bounty hunter comes in, I'm not positive. But my understanding is, let's say you flee to Mexico, then both the company, so the bail company can say, hey, we want our $10,000 back, go hunt him down. And I think it's a bail company that pays you to bring him back. And then the court then releases the $10,000. Again, I'm not positive where bounty hunting comes in. I don't know if it's the bail company who hires the bounty hunter. I don't know if it's the court who hires the bounty hunter, or both, right? I don't know the reward system. It's a weird. But yeah, so anyway, we have this. The more time he buys, the better. Yeah, child support. Yeah, child support. There are a lot of people in jail for child support, but they don't have, the reason they can't pay child support is they're poor and they don't have jobs, right? It's one of these things, right? The bail is so weird. Bail is such a weird system. And the bail insurance, maybe the insurance company for it. So then the bail company may then have insurance to cover if the guy runs away, right? And maybe the insurance covers. The bail is pretty disgusting. I would say, like, there are two things that really disgust me in life. Among other things, of course. One, payday loans. Payday loans are a sick thing. You're poor. You need a loan, but you're using like next next paycheck for the loan. So next paycheck will be much less, but you're still poor. If I had infinite money, I would just like give loans with no interest. And then I would just be like, okay, whatever, like you can pay back, you just pay back when you can. So if I was like a actual like one of the ideas I had if I ever run, I was really big into like this dude. He completely failed. He was completely failure as a politician. Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang had this idea of like universal basic income, but I had an even better idea at the time. But Andrew was he's such a loser. He didn't take my. I said, hey Andrew, I have this even better idea at the time. So this YouTube channel used to be like an Andrew Yang universal basic. So if you don't know what universal basic income is, under the Yang system, it would be like $1,000 a month to everybody. Everybody, right? So I had another system in mind where you could take, because all they really need is a little bit of money to get back on their feet. Where you would have a bank. I don't know what to call it a bank. You would have some type of fund where everybody can take up to $1,000. And they can return the fund anytime they want. Or, again, we would want them to return the fund because then maybe they need a fund again. You would essentially make everyone an emergency fund of $1,000, $2,000 for medical bills or car. So many people's cars break down. And you would get rid of all the payday loan lenders because you would wipe them out. So this is my idea for annual. You would just totally wipe out all the evil payday loan lenders charging an army. How they get you? So most states have laws against usury, which means you can only charge a certain amount of interest. And if you charge more than that interest, you're actually doing something illegal. But how they get past that, payday loans, is they charge you fees. Late fees, interest, they hit you with a ton of fees. So it doesn't really matter if there's a usury law in your state, which should be protecting you, the citizen, which is a maximal interest rate. They're just going to hit you with fees. They are just going to hit you with fees, right? Oh, thanks, Mark, for the jewel. What was I? Yeah, so I came up with this idea, right? That you could just have this I guess a payday loan vendor, but you would have an interest-free loan, and you could return if you wanted to. You could return if you didn't. It's just for you to get by, and I think it would help a lot of Americans, a lot. Okay, anyway, let's continue on. So yeah, this is happening right here. Yeah, it would give everyone the ability to have an emergency fund. So. Propose and so on. Okay. Shout out to BBQ. So yeah, that was my idea. I thought it was a good idea, but I guess not everyone did. We'll watch his video a little bit. No, I think I have faith that it will work. I think what you need to have faith in is you need to have faith in people, right? In fact, I would even say this. So part of my idea of my again, I guess you guys are getting bored. We're seeing the numbers drop. But okay, this is my idea. So if I ever won like mayor of Houston or something, I would create that $2,000 emergency fund, and just like a school lunch fund or something like that. I would also like, you know, like part of accepting the fund is like you have to write a story, you have to like have pictures of like why you need the money. So we will have to confirm that you need the money, which was something that PPP loans never did. And then we would actually have like, let's say it's a school teacher wants to pay off the lunch for her kids. And that's the story. And then we have a website, and we have all these really cool stories. And if a rich person who had an extra $1,000 was like, wow, you know what? That's really cool. And then his fund is maxed out. Let me donate $1,000 to the fund. So like, what I'm suggesting is I'm not saying that everybody who takes the $1,000 will replenish the fund. I'm suggesting that this is better than most charities. What I've come up with is a charity where every single cent goes back to the community and your local community. No. Your local community, right? I know people who have never actually helped poor people before. Because they say blind faith and naivety, it can really bite. No. Prior to like doing this YouTube streaming, which is easy as hell, I was doing pro bono work, right? I was doing pro bono work for very poor individuals, guys. Very poor individuals. Okay, we're gonna watch this video. So shout out to DBQ.
Well, folks, it's another day and another big turn of events in the ongoing saga of Reckless Ben and the missing Legos lawsuit. The defendants finally had lawyers enter the case, and at the same time, they filed a joint motion to change that TRO in a way that removes all the free speech restrictions that have been placed on the defendants. This is a huge victory for the defense. We're going to get into the document. I'll explain what it means from a legal perspective. I'll give you my thoughts on next steps and explain who the winners and losers today were. All right, so looking at the document, this is the joint motion for modification of temporary restraining order and entry of preliminary injunction. First thing we see here is we have lawyers for the defendants, Scott Young, Melinda Bowen, and Haley Wynn of the firm Spencer Fain. This is a nationwide law firm. They have offices all over the country. They are representing Reckless.
Very good law firm. I think we looked at the law firm, and yeah, very, very good law firm. So Scott is, you can see from the attorney numbers, by the way. Did you, okay, something else that you might not know. Did you know attorney numbers are given out? So there's something called attorney one, who's probably died a long time ago. So if you want to know how much experience a attorney has, this is the same with patent stuff and so, you can look at their number. So Scott's number is 10,000. That means he's practiced law. Melinda's number is 13, which means he's like a junior attorney. Haley's number is 20,000, which means he is just out of law school. Which we know this. We actually know this, right? So Scott is the senior attorney. Kind of looks like an older, you know, Mike from Suits. Melinda is the junior attorney. And then Haley is a brand new baby attorney, straight from law school. And how we know this is we can actually look at numbers.
Reckless Ben, his friend Victor Nguyen, but notably they are not representing the Mansells. The Mansells have their own attorneys who will have also signed on to this. So the first thing we note is the title. So what is it that's happening? Well, this is what's called a joint motion. Joint motion just means everybody agrees. All sides, the plaintiffs and the defendants have
absolutely, yeah, all sides agree.
All come together and agreed on this document. Why does that matter? Because courts will grant joint motions 99.9% of the time. So there is almost no chance that there will be any further litigation on this issue of this restraining order. The parties have all come to an agreed set of language about what will and won't be allowed during the pendency of this case. And so the second thing here is that it's also converting the temporary restraining order into a preliminary injunction. And I've mentioned in some previous videos what the difference is. A temporary restraining order, or TRO, is something that gets filed at the very beginning of the case, the same day the complaint is filed. It lasts only up until the point, usually when the court has a hearing on that TRO. From that point on,
So interesting enough, the hearing, which was supposed to be July 1st, has now been moved. No, sorry. That's the hearing for the wrong one. When is the hearing for this one? That's the hearing for the criminal ones. When is the hearing? I think the hearing is sometime soon, right? So the TRO lasts up till the point of the hearing. When is the hearing? I think it's next week. I think this hearing didn't get changed. Okay, so June 2nd was the TRO. It lasts up till the point of the hearing. Where is the hearing? Does anyone know what date the hearing was? I think the hearing got moved back. Yes? So actually, it is quite possible. 30th. Thank you, Monkey. Thank you to call in. Okay, so the hearing is on the 30th. So it is quite possible the TRO does its job and just kind of continues from June 2nd until June 30th because it's still on. And then the judge, in fact, if you are the judge, you're just like, oh, it's only a few more days, right? Why not, right? Why not, right? So there is there's a scenario. Now we hope that Reckless Ben and the BAM franchising, they can get together, they can make it more narrow, and we can get a actual modification on TRO. But even if you got it tomorrow on June 26th, I mean, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, too. I mean, it would only save you it would save you 3 days. Yes? It would save you 3 days. So, Reckless Ben's freedom, right, would have been saved 3 days, assuming that if they got in front of a Judge Graff, he would say, oh, yeah, we should get rid of the TRO. Which he would have. Understanding like that how broad the original TRO really is. So this is actually quite interesting. They did silence him almost the whole time. Even if you say tomorrow, Reckless Ben can speak now. Well, he was going to go in front of the judge on the 30th anyway. Is the judge really going to sign this thing? So, number one, can you get the BAM franchising lawyers and Ben's lawyers to agree to narrow the claims down, which isn't guaranteed. Even if that takes a day or 2 days, now we move to Friday. So let's say on Friday you send the judge a motion. Well, the weekend, the judge is not going to look at it. Saturday, Sunday's gone. And the judge has on the 30th, like, this is, like, I really do wish that Reckless Ben had a lawyer sooner, because they could have challenged it on the 2nd. Right? But the challenging is so late that doesn't even make a difference. So again, every day makes a difference. I'm not saying, I'm not going to nitpick you and all that other stuff, like, but the judge signed the TRO on the 2nd. On the 24th, he rejected the modification, which means the original TRO is still standing. And he's asking the two parties to come to agreement again, which may be difficult. It's the 25th now. They're supposed to have a meeting with the judge on the 3rd. Once they have a meeting with the judge, the TRO just goes away. It just goes away, right? So, yes, and also the original schedule was for the 22nd, but it got rescheduled for the 30th. Like, Reckless Ben has been under this TRO way longer than initially intended because they pushed back the hearing. That's something else that hasn't really been mentioned. Like, Now, again, this is okay because Reckless Ben now has lawyers and they're working really hard on this. Previous to his 22nd, I don't think he had lawyers. But in any other context, assuming you had lawyers, your lawyers would have attacked this on June 2nd. And then it would have maybe taken a few days, and then, you know, June 5th, June 6th. I mean, maybe, even if you say it takes a week, you're on June 9th. Way before June 22nd. But not only is it June 22nd, the case got pushed back to June 30th. No, the TRO, we just watched him explain how TROs work. The TRO is still ineffective today. It's still effective today.
Previous videos, what the difference is. A temporary restraining order, or a TRO, is something that gets filed at the very beginning of the case, the same day the complaint is filed. It lasts only up until the point, usually when the court has a hearing on that TRO.
Yes, I don't know for certain, but BBQ is really good. He's a good lawyer. So BBQ is saying it lasts until there's a court hearing. The TRO, I know this for a fact. The TRO is still active today because the judge actually wrote, I'm not signing this. Because of why? So we know the TRO is active because if the TRO wasn't active, it would be a moot point. There would be no reason to modify the TRO. Let's just kind of use logic here. Like, we don't have to be lawyers to, like, think like a lawyer. So this is a joint motion on the 24th for the modification of a TRO. So if the TRO had already expired, then why would we need to modify it? Just think about this for a moment. If the TRO expired or it lapsed or something happened to it, we wouldn't need to modify it, right? It would be a moot point. So in law, it would be called a moot point. It doesn't matter. So then why is the judge commenting on the modification of a TRO if the TRO never existed? Or is the TRO, sorry, not never existed, but is currently not active, right? So again, this is kind of the logic that we try to use, right, when we're using this stuff. If there is no TRO, then there's no reason that we have to fight over the TRO. There's no reason we need a motion for modification. There's no reason that a judge should even comment, because it wouldn't control anything, right? It would just be like, whatever.
That TRO. From that point on, if the impositions of it are going to remain in place, it becomes what's called a preliminary injunction. Preliminary injunction
is BBQ in chat. Yes, BBQ is often in our Discord channel helping us out and doing stuff. And yeah, give his channel a subscribe. He's also a patent attorney, which I love, because I'm one of those too. And it's hard to be a patent attorney. I think so here's what I'm going to say. Is like, I don't know everything. Okay? I'm just a law YouTuber. BBQ is a practicing attorney right now. I know that, we talked about it, he has a nice globe that I was not able to find on Amazon Prime. It's okay. Let me tell you, it's okay for me to say, hey, I don't know everything. Because I don't. Right? Like, I don't.
Injunction just means that it's an order, a restraining behavior that's going to last until the end of this lawsuit. It will not last beyond the lawsuit. So here what they're saying is that the parties have jointly agreed on basically some ground rules about what will and won't be allowed during the course of this lawsuit. So looking at the second page here, there's a reference here to vacating the hearing. That means there will not be a hearing on June 30th anymore.
Wow, 1,000 joules. I don't know how you guys get these joules things, but like, people can send things for 2. 1,000 seems like a lot.
There doesn't need to be. The point of that hearing was just to go over whether the restraining order would stay in place. There's some interesting things here, though, on this page, and let's unpack this. The parties say that they want to engage in settlement discussions and or mediation.
So, okay, so we're starting like a brand new law firm. Like, people are like, oh, I want to work for the law firm. And I really do want to help people. I think it's just a matter, like, we gotta find a place first. We gotta get our feet. We gotta get a few clients. When you're a one-person law firm, you don't have other attorneys to bounce ideas off. I have my dad for patents and copyright because he's also a patent attorney. But most times, like a one-person law firm, the reason that I don't, like, let's say, what was his name from Frogan? Like, Nikia Bonina. and then Noah's lawyer. The reason that like a one-person law firm isn't as strong as like a 100-person law firm is because of like lawyers talking to lawyers, right? So like in my opinion, like me watching under lawyer videos is me also learning with you. I don't know all of this stuff, right? And that's kind of like me being part of a bigger law firm, which I was part of when I was in New York City. And it was great. So if you had my first client was Paramount Pictures. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. So I went to my secretary, and yeah, they gave me a secretary, even though I was an intern. And I said, "Oh, I don't know how to respond to this. What is this?" The first case I worked on was The Godfather. So it was the Godfather trademark in China, and I had no idea what the hell I was doing. Big company wants to get trademark in China. No idea. Okay. And like a secretary is like, oh yeah, I have some templates. I'll show you how to fill them out. And she will sit there for you for like 2-3 hours, right? And the reason she knows how to do all this stuff because she's been there for like 40 years. Because that's a big law. Big law has been there for decades and decades. My little law firm would have existed. It currently does not even exist yet. So I don't have a secretary who's been doing templates and helping train the younger lawyers. And whenever I had a question about trademark, I would have a trademark attorney check my work. And then he said, this is wrong. He would highlight it exactly in yellow, sometimes in red when they get angry. It's called redlining. And they're like, nope, do this again. Nope. And that was way better than law school. So, I love this format because I can learn. And if there is a mistake, i.e. legal eagle, I got legal eagle on a mistake. I caught him on a mistake. Then I can at least explain the mistake a little bit and show it to you, right?
Mediation following an exchange of relevant documents and other information. So we could expect what this means is the parties are going to exchange some documents, do a little bit of early discovery, probably some of those accounting records that we saw in the CoffeeZilla video, try to figure out what actually happened here. They will have what's called a mediation, which means they'll have someone who usually.
So it looks like they're going to settlement. Which is good for everybody. It's good for Ben. Like everyone who like hates settlement and it's like, oh, Ben has to win. Ben, winning is not spending $1 million on your lawyers, guys. Winning is not spending $1 million on your lawyer. Winning is, hey, I've been sued. I'm the defendant. So I, as a defendant before, I just want to spend as least money and as least time as possible to not be sued anymore. That is winning. And if that is settlement, then so be it. I know a lot of people want to make it seem like you cannot settle. Settling is like the devil, and oh, how could you settle against them? Those are people who have never been sued before. When you're paying your lawyers hundreds of thousands, even Billy Mitchell, Carl Job, $1 million+ trust me when I say this, settlement is the best route and often could be the only route. So sometimes you have to apologize. Sometimes you have to play nice. Sometimes you have to settle. That's just how it is in the court system. Because if you don't settle, the legal bills often will be higher than any amount either party wins. I can tell you by a case of my client, I've said this a million times, but I think it just bears repeating, because I want to put you in this mindset when we go over this document. The settlement this is actually a very positive development. Settlement discussions is actually very positive. 95% of civil cases settle anyway. Did you guys know this? 95% of all civil cases do not go to a jury trial. They settle or something happens to it. I had a client spend $350,000 on lawyer fees over a contract that was $40,000 over 3 years. Let me repeat that again. I had a client spend an insane 10 times the amount of money over a contract that was a 3-year contract. They were 2 years into it. So they already had paid most of the contract out. You know who was like egging that client on? I told the client a million times. He was my best friend, by the way, at the time. We're no longer best friends because he got me sued, but whatever, right? I told him, hey, just pay out the $40,000, dude. Like, it wasn't even $40,000. It was like 10,000 or 40. Just pay them out. Just pay them out. Disconnect you from the thing, whatever, right? And he just wouldn't do it. Because he got so, like, in this idea that, like, when you watch, I have to win, I have to win, I have to win, I have to win. The contract was $40,000. Even if we paid you every dollar again, which we wouldn't have to do, right? Because there's invoices, receipts. Why the hell did we spend $350,000? So that was, like, warning sign 1, that my best friend may not be, like, the best at business. Warning sign 2 is when he got us sued by 2 doctors. And I got sued too. And I'm just like, dude, I'm like a marketing vendor. How the hell did I get sued? You know? And then I got sued. And the case took, 4 years? You know, I was like, okay, come on. Like, this is even worse. Like, I had some, like, enemies. H3 Snark. Like, but even my worst enemy wouldn't put me under a lawsuit for 4 years, my dude, right? And you're my best friend? Like, wait, what? And then he tried to drag me into another lawsuit. I was like, no, I'm never going to talk to you again in my life. Goodbye. You know, at that point, the wife is like, this can't be your best friend, dude. You need to find a new friend. Okay, sorry about these tangents. I know it bores you guys to death.
Usually a retired judge that's going to try to mediate their dispute and see if they can come to a private resolution without going all the way through litigation. The next thing that I think is really interesting is in the second paragraph. There's a reference here to the defendant saying they dispute the allegations and that they intend to assert counterclaims. So I talked to my friend.
Okay. If there's any settlement, there will be an NDA. So again, I'm a law YouTuber now. I wanted to like talk about my case and all this cool stuff, right? There's so much interesting stuff that happened in my case that like I really want to talk about. And I told my attorney, we are not signing that fucking NDA. But what happened was my best friend was like, oh no, we need it all signed. Like you either all sign the NDA or none of you sign the NDA. So here's the problem. Brian Menzel cannot settle, like the terms of the NDA. They are going to put an NDA on Brian and Victor and Ben's team. I thought, hey, I don't need to sign an NDA. I don't need to sign a cautionary blah, 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 right? Because I thought that too. I thought what you guys thought. Oh, Billy says, I got a friend with a nicely waxed mustache who could have avoided millions of dollars and wasted money by just writing a $100,000 check. Yeah, he's definitely going to spend way more than $100,000 in this. But back to my thing was this thing is like really important to understand because I didn't understand that either. I was like, fine, well, whatever, right? Whatever. But I'm not signing that NDA. Well, if I don't sign that NDA, everyone else suffers. So Reckless Ben is the type of guy who cares about Sheldon. He cares about Sierra. He cares about Tyler. He cares about Victor Nguyen, who's literally named. If Reckless Ben doesn't sign the NDA, then the lawsuit continues for everybody. Everybody, guys. Do you understand? Like, this is not fun for them. Sierra, the process server, is not having a great time right now being sued. So, like, they put a lot of pressure. So, even though I was never going to sign the NDA, and I was very confident I never had to sign it, my friend is like, oh, well, they're not going to settle with us unless we sign it. And then there was, like, other parties and stuff. So in my trial, it was 2 doctors suing me and 2 other doctors. And I was friends with both of the other doctors on the defense. So it was 2 doctors suing me, my best friend who was a doctor, and another doctor who was a very close friend of mine as well. I went to their weddings and stuff. I was forced into signing the NDA because those two other doctors who were my friends, just wanted to go away. It was 4 years. Tony doesn't want to sign the NDA. If Tony doesn't sign the NDA, it could be another 4 years. Right? So if you're Reckless Ben and they tell you, hey, we have a great settlement offer for you, we're going to drop everything, but you're going to have to sign an NDA, right? Yeah, thank you for the 199. It feels wrong to settle, but I've been sued before. Recently. For 4 years. So my two friends, including my best friend, who are doctors, they just wanted to be over. And they're saying the reason it's not over is because Tony won't sign the damn NDA. So I'm thinking, yeah, it's been 4 years. I really do want to cover in my YouTube channel. A lot of crazy stuff happened. And, I wanted to talk about me being a lawyer, being sued, what it felt like, what it was, how I got dragged into it. So there was such a great story behind that. But because there was two other defendants with me, I had to sign it. I really didn't want to. I think that will be the same position Ben will be in. I think that will be the same position Ben will be in. Oh, Ben, you don't want to sign the NDA? What about poor Sierra? What about poor Tyler? What about poor Sheldon? Do you want to drag this out for them for even longer? So if the deal is fair, if the deal is okay and you drop the lawsuit, Brian Menzel, do you really want us to continue, right? God, all you have to do, Ben, is sign this NDA and it's all gone. That is going to be the position Ben will be facing very soon. I promise you that. I promise you that whatever Bricks and Minifigs wants, they're going to want an NDA, a confidentiality agreement, non-disparage. They're going to want all of that in the contract. And they will not settle until they get all of that, right? Ren, have you ever paid a lawyer $500,000 before for justice? Ren, so let me not get one-shotted by a dude. But people in the comment section, that's why we have lawyers. Do you know how much Reckless Ben is paying his lawyers right now? I don't. But I imagine it's upwards of $1,000 an hour. Right? So everyone's saying, oh, he shouldn't settle. No, he shouldn't settle. But when you pay $1 million for legal fees, and it's dragged on for years and years and years, you feel a little differently,
Very first video, the one with really bad audio, so I apologize for that. Some of the counterclaims that the Mansells might have. I think there's an excellent chance that the Mansells could bring counterclaims for things like conversion, breach of contract, essentially bringing claims to recover lost money and lost property from Bricks and Minifigs, either the corporate or Josh Johnson and Brandon Best, their store, etc. I think the Mansells have an excellent chance of bringing counterclaims. I think based on what we've seen in some of the leaked police body cam footage.
Yeah, and this is the same thing that I feel like I can offer a unique perspective because I was sued by two doctors and it was really expensive. And it did take 4 years. At some point in time, I really wanted to talk about it. I really wanted to do the money was too much. So the question I had, and the question my lawyer had was hey, we can go to trial, but you're going to have to pay me another $250,000. You want to do that? I was not really. You're going to spend another 2 years. And there are multiple other defendants in this lawsuit. You wanna have them forced to do that too? I was no. So it is really easy for people not paying the invoices and not seeing the invoices to say you should go to trial, you should win. I think Reckless Ben would win. So let me premise this by saying I think he would win. Just how much would it cost? It's like the meme, right? Thanos, right? What was the cost? Everything. Yeah, what did it cost, right? This is the meme. Oh, no, what the hell? What is this? These people's taking the meme. Did you do it? Yes. What did it cost? Everything. This is what, like, if I had a client and they really wanted to go to court and they had a good settlement on the table, I would just send them this meme. I would just text them this meme and say, "No, dude, we're going to settle." Like, dude, we're not going to settle, guys. We need we're not going to settle because it is going to cost everything. It's going to cost our time. It's going to cost a shit ton of money. A shit ton of money, guys. You have no, like, unless, like, you've been sued. Yeah, unless Ben gets $2 million, okay? And that would cover everybody. Fine. If your argument is Reckless Ben can somehow get $1 million from us, Sheldon can get, like, you know, a few $100,000, right? Like, them as a team can get $1 million+. I would then say fight it. But remember, Reckless Ben is fighting 3 different lawsuits now. So everyone's forgetting this, right? He's fighting 2 criminal lawsuits, one against American Fork, one against Provo City, and he's fighting this. There's not just one invoice, my dudes. There are multiple invoices Ben's receiving. Right? He'll receive an invoice, because you have to invoice separately. He'll receive an invoice for BAM. He'll receive an invoice for American Fork. He'll receive an invoice for Provo. Like, everyone's saying, like, this. There's literally 3 lawsuits that Ben is paying 5 attorneys that we know of to work on. That's insane. Right? No, let me tell you this. If you run out of money, your lawyer's gone. If you are not able to pay any of these 5 lawyers again, they are not going to represent you. They're not doing this pro bono, my friends. They're not doing this pro bono. Oh, okay, new video. Okay, we'll power through this, guys. We have time. I'm buying another Pokemon collection at 3 o'clock. So I need to like 3 o'clock.
Footage, I think there's also an excellent chance that Reckless Ben could bring some counterclaims of his own against some of the people we saw in those videos. I think that there's a widespread belief that some of the statements being made, were being alleged against Reckless Ben in that body cam footage was not necessarily accurate or truthful. If that's the case, he may have counterclaims related to those activities against the plaintiffs. So the next thing I want to point to is in the next paragraph where they say that they've agreed to mediate the case. Well, like I said before, mediation just means that they're going to have someone, typically a retired judge, try to help them reach kind of an informal resolution. Now, what this doesn't mean on its own is that the case is just going to go away. It's different from something called arbitration. In arbitration, the parties tell a judge, a court, hey, look, we don't.
I know they're not doing pro bono. Let me preface this by saying, I know for a fact they're not doing this pro bono. Because they're part of a bigger law firm. And when you're part of a bigger law firm, you need so many people to agree for pro bono work. Now, if this was one attorney, okay, maybe it's pro bono, maybe it's not. Maybe I don't know. But these are huge law firms. These are big law firms. There's other people to feed. So let's say like I have a business. And it's just me. It's a lot easier for me to say, okay, let's do just pro bono, right? But I still have my secretary. I still have like my other workers. They still need to get paycheck. They still need to be paid, of course. But it would be easier for me to make that decision. I'm going to take this case pro bono, and I would still continue to pay them. It is very difficult in big law. It is very difficult in big law where there's 100+ lawyers for you to take a pro bono case. Because then your senior attorney, no, don't take it. Your management, shareholder, no, don't take it. We need to make, if you've ever worked in big law, pro bono is really, really, really tough to do. because you have to cut through so much red. Basically, you're saying, hey, I want you to pay me, but I want to not take any money for the firm. That's why pro bono is so hard in these larger firms, because the decision making is so difficult, because you are literally, because the law firm still has to pay you. The law firm still has to pay you. But you're not bringing any money for the law firm, right? Guess how many times that happens? You know who sends you the invoice? It's not the two lawyers. It's the law firm. And you know that the header of the law firm will be sending you the invoice. So again, these are civil... pro bono can't afford... so big law can afford pro bono. Little guy can't afford... Opposite. Let me tell you, I volunteer at an animal shelter. It's the people who like have the least amount of time who help. It's the people who have the most to do to help. Like, you never see a soccer mom at the animal shelter. I've never seen it. I volunteered in animal shelters since I was like 16. It's never the soccer mom at home. It's not the home wife. It's not the trophy wife. The people volunteering at animal shelters, they're volunteering other places, other animal shelters. I'm here to tell you that the people who do pro bono, they're not who you think it is, guys. They're not who you think it is. Everyone thinks that the big law firms are going to do pro bono. Yeah. There's a reason they're big law firms. Okay? There's a reason their office looks nicer than a backdrop of Pokemon Pikachus, right? And cards on my floor my daughter played with. Right? There's a reason they're in a Versace suit for $10,000. Okay? It wasn't because they did pro bono. Let me assure you this. The reason these lawyers look like sharks and they're wearing $10,000, $20,000, right, of clothing, right, isn't because they did a bunch of pro bono, okay?
We don't want to resolve this dispute here in the courtroom. We're going to go to private mediation away from prying eyes, and we'll have an arbitrator decide our dispute. And there, the case inside the court stops and it goes to an arbitration. That's not the same with mediation. Here, the case will continue.
That's Steven. So I know 7. Do you have any confirmation Brian's wife or his siblings are lawyers? Because I cannot confirm that. So there is some controversy among certain Bricks and Minifigs franchisees that Brian's wife or siblings or somebody related to Brian are lawyers, but I don't have confirmation of that yet. So again, not every franchise is not every Bricks and Minifig is like pro Ben or pro Brian. I'll put it that way. There are many Bricks and Minifigs in my LinkedIn. Until they have confirmed, and obviously it's very interesting information, of course. But until they confirm the information with me, I can't really talk about it, right? Because I don't have confirmation of it. So if you want to join the Discord, provide proof. And again, I get it. I mean, if you're a Bricks and Minifigs franchisee, you're thinking, why did this happen to me? I'm getting attacked on social media. I'm getting left fake reviews that are negative. I 100% get why you are mad. But the question is, like, who should you be mad at? Should you be mad at Reckless Ben or Brian Menzel or me? Or should you be mad at corporate? Who was the source of all this damage? Was it me? Was it Reckless Ben? Was it Brian Menzel? Or maybe it was Amin Minef?
Will continue. The parties will reach out and have a mediator, and then the mediation will occur in parallel to the actual court case. There is an exception for that. The parties may file what's called a motion to stay. And what a motion to stay means is that we are going to pause the proceedings in court because we don't want to be spending money litigating while we're trying to make this case go away. So we'll see if that's what happens. We don't know yet. There's been no indication that that's going to happen. On the other hand, they have indicated up above that they want to do some exchange of relevant documents first. So that suggests to me that at least for a little while, this case is going to go on before we see a motion to stay. Not 100%. Maybe they file something like that tomorrow. But I think it's likely that
full pause. I don't understand, like, why some and I can tell you there are some franchisees of Bricks and Minifigs who are not angry at corporate. Corporate could have wrote a check for $100,000. That wouldn't have affected you at all, and it would all gone away. It would all gone. Oh, my roofer's texting me. Okay, what did my roofer have to say? My roofer wants to start. Okay. What the hell? Okay, so my roofer texts me the weirdest stuff sometimes. And it's like, dude, is this like a new client? Okay, anyway. But here's what I need to say. There are a lot of these Bricks and Minifig franchises, because I did like videos about them and they didn't really like that. So I made a bunch of videos like reading their posts and stuff, and then I get contacted by them and it's like, oh, you misrepresented me. But I was literally just reading the comments. Remember, like I did, I don't know if my roofer is subscribed or not. My roofer's a good guy. I like him. He's a good guy. But my takeaway is like, okay, dude, guys, you literally have corporate who's supposed to act in your best interest. I don't have a Lego store. I'm not a competitor. You know, like I get these nasty, hey, you only want us to fail because you're a competitor. No, we didn't even sell Legos like now. Like, why don't we have a Lego store, right? Okay, 7 says, I think I can say this because his 7 with AJ, who is a Bricks and Minifig franchisee, who's in our comment section, who I have offered to actually live stream with him. Owners of franchisees are angry and upset, but not litigating in public opinion courts. That would be correct, yes. But like, is the public not allowed to have an opinion on this? Am I not allowed to have an opinion on this? So, again, you know, like, I think, you know, there's a lot of angry people at me. You know, like, you know, I made that video and then suddenly I get approached by like a bunch. Oh, Reckless Ben. God, do you think we have to push the Pokemon back an hour and just go another hour? Guys, what? Okay, pause. Do we want to go into 4? Because if we watch this video, we'll go into 4 or more. I don't know. And if I have to go to 4, I have to text my Pokemon guy, hey, I'm not coming until 4. What do you guys think we have enough material and you guys are going to stick with me until 4? Or do I just do my Pokemon thing at 3? Okay, anyway, so I think we have a lot of material. Like I'm digressing here. But yeah, yeah. What were we talking? Oh, yeah. So a lot of these Bricks and Minifig people in my LinkedIn, somehow I'm to blame for this because they watched this video where I just read comments. I was reading again. Some of these comments were not good comments, but then somehow I was the one responsible for bringing down. Like, I'm like, dude, I had nothing to do with it. I'm just covering the case, and they're like, oh well, why do you cover the case? Because people want me to cover the case, and I'm a YouTuber, right? I made this video, and they were really, like, I got, like, bombarded by them. One of my videos, it was, like, an old video, too. Because they've been my, and I welcome it. Hey, if they have opinions, I'm happy to relay the opinions to you, right? Oh, yeah, this video, like, you know, which was, like, 2 weeks ago. But I didn't really understand, like, the corporate could have just signed a $100,000 check. It wouldn't have affected you at all. And the problem is over. Yeah, Billy, I sell logo, and I want them to fail. Why do you need a model to resell Lego sets? Why would you offer 6% for a $1,200? No, it wasn't even 6%, Billy. They tried to steal it. Billy, that was not the last place tried to steal the minifig. Oh, I think they think Lust stole the Legos. That's why they're mad. I wanted to make a video, so I've asked all of them, and there's at least one of them in chat right now. And I even say, hey, why don't we go on the live stream? You guys tell me the situation, and you share your side of the story. And they won't do it. They will not do it. Yeah, thank you so much, Infexus. Yeah, I think they think Lust stole the Lego. They won't do it. So what can I do? So their argument is, oh, how dare you make this a public discussion? And my argument is like, okay, so you have your perspective. They certainly have a perspective. I can tell you, they have a very interesting perspective that no one has given yet. The only people who have talked about is Crystal Law, Ben Gorman. Of course, they're very biased. They no longer own a store. And that last Relic guy, but till this day, there has not been one person that currently owns a Bricks and Minifig store that has told their story. And they're upset that their story is not being shared. But I have opened my platform to all of them. But Last Relic is biased, right? Because they put him $500,000 in debt. So, of course, he's not going to like... So, what I'm saying, an active Bricks and Minifig... but I'm saying if they're so offended by the public discourse, change the narrative. Like, I could see somebody come... And I've told this. I told all of them this. I could see you coming on... And I told him, I will promote the hell out of your Bricks and Minifigs. I could see somebody coming on and saying, hey, I don't really understand what's going on. There are a lot of people leaving negative comments who have never come to my store. That's affecting my business. There are people, robbing my store. That's affecting There's people punching each other on the store. Can we stop all that? And I think a reasonable human being would be like, yeah, that's too much, right? Yes, Last Relic was the I hate Disney, Disney is gay guy.
We're going to see a little bit more activity here. So then let's get into how the restraining order is going to be modified.
Yes. My roofer has overheard something about the Legos, and now he's going to call the police. While building my roof, he's heard something about Legos. Yeah, I don't understand. Like how bad? Like, guys. I'm very pissed off now because I'm thinking of all the bad things he's told me. They say it. Again, not everyone has been mean. Most people have been pretty nice, but like some of them have been incredibly mean to me. But like if you can't publicly state, hey, Brian Menzel needs his Legos back, then there's something wrong with you. Right? Yeah? Like, how can you look at this case and be like, Brian, he's the one who needs to be punished, right? But that's what they're saying. I don't know what training Bricks... Do you know who they blame more than me? They don't actually blame Reckless Ben. They blame Brian. Oh, Billy says, thank you for the $5. They're offended because they have no way out. $30K down the drain if they speak out. Their motto is success. Yeah, absolutely. And some of them have 10 or 12-year leases. Some of them are in year one of a 10-year lease. A 10-year franchise agreement. Like, I mean, I don't... I'm getting, like, slightly pissed now that I'm recalling the LinkedIn mess. Some of them are very nice. All of them have family. I get... But, like, cannot a single one of them stand up, hey, I told corporate... I need them to give, that this was bad. They should not continue. And, I'm not joking. Do you know how many Bricks and Minifigs? Okay, so Crystal Law is like number one. They blame Crystal Law and Ben Gorman number one. Then they blame Brian, the guy who's, and sometimes I'll chat with them. Like, why do you think Brian is to blame? Oh, Brian's family is full of lawyers, and they're litigious, and Brian, and I have no confirmation of this. I've been told multiple times, I don't know if this is coming from corporate telling them to tell me, that Brian's like family's all lawyers or something. And they should do this pro bono. Even though I told them multiple times, hey, even if they are, so I have no evidence that Brian's family's lawyers, even if Brian's families are lawyers, maybe they actually just need like lawyers who are experts in defamation or in this type of, maybe they're like lawyers like me, where I just do copyright and patents, and so they're not really practicing lawyers who are good enough to win this case. Yeah, so the whole, like, they really, so, like, I'm not surprised they hate Crystal Law and Ben Gorman. That kind of makes sense, right? But I'm shocked how much they hate Brian Menzel. Because I always tell them, hey, like, this guy got his Lego stolen. Why are you guys still coming after him? Oh, his family's lawyers, and his family should do this pro bono. They should give back the $500,000. He's been paid for his Legos 5 times over. Right, like, and it's like, no. Right, like, I mean, it's wild. I wish I could show you some of this stuff, but like, if you send me something and you send it to me in confidence, I'll keep it in confidence, right? Or I'll try my best. but yeah, that part like really upsets me. Like they blame Brian so much. Nothing Brian has done. You can make the argument to me, Crystal and Ben Gorman ran a loose ship, if you will. And because of the layaway, because of the no online sales, no influencers like B&R selling, like not contacting people, I could, okay, fine. I can assign someone to blame to Crystal Law and Ben Gorman for, in my opinion, not running a tight ship. Okay? That's my opinion. Again, a lot of people don't like that opinion of mine. But that's my fair opinion on my assessment of what was happening. But how are you going to blame Brian Menzel? How are you going to blame Brian Menzel, my dudes? Like, no, I mean, they really hate that dude. I have no idea where it's coming from. He literally is a customer that you would die to have at your store. No, if a Brian Menzel came and he had this amazing Lego collection and he was willing to do it for no money, consignment only. I don't do consignment, but let's say I really needed the money, right? I didn't have the money to pay him. I would say, wow, this guy is amazing. Give me as many Brian Menzels as you can get. Bring all the Brian Menzels to my store, right? Bring them all. Bring all the elderly people to my store. If the deal they're going to give me is I don't have to pay $1 down, I can hold on to their collection as long as I want for marketing purposes. I can do some weird layaway thing to make my customers super happy. There's no timeline for me to sell. Bring them all. I'm going to have a store soon. Bring every Brian Menzel and his dad you can find. Because I will take them all. I will take them all.
Modified. So again, the following, this is language that all sides agreed to. So they have agreed, for example, no death threats or bomb threats. Okay. I don't think that was likely actually happening anyway. No threats of physical violence. Okay. Nobody has a problem with that. Next, no doxing, no publishing personal addresses or phone numbers.
Billy says, Brian will be paid 10 times over after Christmas. When 100. Yeah, you know what? Like, I said this before. I think those Lego figures, because it's becoming part of our, I personally would want to own a Lego figure that has the yellow sticker, that the provenance is, I'm sure Billy would want to own one too for his store, that this came from the Brian Menzel collection that Bricks and Minifigs tried to steal, right? I don't think it is that hard to move them. The layaway deal. The layaway, again, doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to Billy. We're trying to have Billy on. You know what I will say is I don't mind, we can have a little, logo, down here of your store. We'll promote the hell out of it. When Sheldon comes on tomorrow, we'll promote the hell out of this. You know we will, right? Because, I'm just so grateful that someone took their time to come on and speak with us. And again, not everyone does that, right? Not everyone wants to do it. Not everyone has to do it, but I imagine those Lego figures could go for a lot of money nowadays. Yeah, we don't know where they are. That's the problem.
That's again, I don't think that's disputed. I don't think that's something that anyone had a problem with. Some of these get into things we saw in some of Reckless Ben's videos. So now, no filming, blocking access to, or approaching within a defined distance of not less than 100 yards, any stores, offices, warehouses, or homes. So we're not going to see any new videos. And by new, I mean not part 3, or we've heard there's a part 4, not things that were already filmed, but we're not going to see Reckless Ben from this point forward going and filming new content in front of these places like he did before. Nothing in here is preventing.
Pause. I'm still kind of stuck up on this. I don't know why. I'm so stuck up on it because, like, I owned a store before, and I'm either living in crazy land or something weird is happening, like something that doesn't make sense. Either they're part of a cult, like these Bricks and Mini franchisees. Look, if you say, hey, we want Brian Menzel to get back his Legos, that's going to help your business. That's not going to help just your business. That's going to help all the businesses. Why would that even negatively affect your business or corporate? I'm still trying to understand, if your business is for people to come to your store, sell their Legos to you, and that's how you primarily get inventory. That is a large source of inventory for you. Why would you offer 6%? Why would you steal people's Legos? In fact, you would say to do the opposite. You would be like, oh, corporate, this one Bricks and Minifigs stole Brian Menzel's Legos, but we're not like that. We stand by Brian. And corporate should actually give you the thumbs up because that's awesome, right? Because that's your business. You want good business? That's good, but that's good. You want good PR advice? That's it. If your Bricks and Minifigs can stand up to corporate, whatever they're doing, whatever their threats are, and say, hey, we want customers to always trust us when they consign with us or if they sell a figure. We want Brian Menzel to get his Legos back. Why would that statement even affect corporate? Why would corporate even be mad at that? That is a good thing, right? I think that is a good thing to have, to be quite frank with you. I think every store should want to have, make whole. Now, even if corporate is like, whatever, you're helping corporate from the PR perspective because you're saying, oh, this is just one rogue. Right now, it seems like they're all in on it. But if you can separate the bad apple and you just say, this is one really bad apple, and everyone else says, oh, all 299 other stores say, we support Brian Menzel. We would never do this to our customers. We love our customers, right? Why can't they do that? That's so weird, right? That is so weird.
It's preventing him from publishing what he's already filmed. That's important to keep in mind. So also, no impersonating plaintiffs, no impersonating officers, franchisees, delivery services. Remember, there's an allegation that someone dressed up as a UPS delivery man. So no more of that. No touching, altering, covering, defacing, or placing signage in front of any property. So we're not going to see the "we steal from old people" sign make a reappearance in front of one of these stores. No physically.
So BBQ is awesome. He's very smart, very intelligent, and I will be the first to raise my hand. I didn't quite understand how important this was. And as you can see, BBQ kind of just went past it, right? So again, BBQ is not the only one. I will be the first one to raise my hand also and say, hey, when I read it with you guys on live stream, I read it twice with you guys, and I didn't quite, I should have caught this, but I didn't. I think everyone's just so happy that TRO, everyone's trying to make their videos, right? Like the TRO is gone, the gag order is gone, that we didn't, I don't think any real, I don't know. But yeah, I skipped over. So again, this isn't to say oh, BBQ did a bad job. No, he does a better job than I do. But even, again, I missed it too.
The expansion of Reckless Ben's Lego cult from any franchisee or their employees. So, we won't be seeing anything like that. So then What changed? So we get to paragraph 2. What changed about this order from what we had before? Well, to keep it simple, all the free speech restrictions have been removed. There are now no longer any restrictions on publishing content, making commentary, talking about things, even criticizing.
Next week, Tony, I'm demoing our new retail space in a building 3 times big. Oh, yeah. I'm also looking for buildings to buy, or buildings to rent. The fun part of being independent instead of paying for a turnkey, absolutely. I'm glad to hear that business is going well. Yeah, that's great to hear. I'm also looking at new buildings. I kind of need a retail space. I need like a commercial real estate agent to help me. I realize I cannot do this myself. So if you are a commercial real estate agent, specifically in Northeast Houston, and you have like affordable places. I had a real estate agent from chat reach out to me, but everything was like $5,000 or $10,000. No, we are bootstrapping this, like one lawyer law firm. We are bootstrapping this.
The other sides, engaging in investigative journalism.
Yes, that's correct. Ben can't release part 3 till the judge signs the modification. Yes, the TRO modification, correct. Or June 30th. June 30th, they're going to meet the judge, and the June 30th will be their first interaction with the judge live.
All of that's now okay. So it says nothing in the order will prevent or prohibit defendants from discussing the plaintiffs, commenting on the litigation, publishing filings, engaging in investigative journalism, expressing opinions, criticism, satire, or commentary through any lawful means, including YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, etc., social media platforms. So all that bad stuff, all the stuff that I raised in my previous videos, that's all gone now. We're free and clear. We're back to status quo. The defendants can now speak and talk and say what they want. No more injunction preventing, the chilling of free speech. And then finally, the preliminary injunction remains in effect until further order of the court. So again, like I said before, this now becomes a preliminary injunction. It will last until the end of the case, at which time the court will issue another order saying the preliminary injunction is done. And then
part 3 is not on Patreon. There was an update on Patreon last night where Ben said he's free, he can speak. That was before, I think, Ben found out that the judge didn't sign it.
Happens from that point will depend on the outcome of the case. So then finally, just the signatures of everyone. We see this was signed by Scott Young, lead counsel for Reckless Ben, Kelly Nash, lead counsel for the plaintiffs, and Mark Morris, lead counsel for
but I don't live in like a really nice place. I live in a place where rent should be that cheap. I'm so jealous, Billy. $950 for 3,000 square feet is... But yeah, I live in Toledo, Ohio. My population, the little town I live in, is only like 16,000 people. So, but the rent is like sky-high rent. I have no idea why. Why the rent is so high here.
Or the Mansells. Okay, so let me give you my thoughts on what happened today. First, it's interesting that we now finally have lawyers for all sides. I quickly looked at the resumes of all the lawyers signing on for the defendants. They all come from reputable law firms. They all seem to be reputable lawyers. Second, does this mean that Ben can post part 3? Yes, but not yet. They say...
Got it. He got it.
Discretion is the better part of valor. Here, even though all sides have filed this, they still need to wait until the judge actually...
Got it. He got it. BBQ got it. Yeah. Even though both sides agree to it, everything looks like it's hunky-dory, you wait. That's good. Billy is in Ohio. I'm in Texas.
Signs off on it. You don't want to take action that might snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yes.
I said, 99.
Yes, you don't want to be Denons and then make a bunch of videos that the judge is not watching, saying, I won. The judge is awesome. I won. I beat Ethan Klein. Yeah. And then Hassan, yeah. Ethan Klein sucks. We hate him. And then the judge is not watching those videos. Let me tell you what's happening. The judge is now watching those videos of somebody celebrating too early and be like, you know what? I don't actually like these guys. I don't actually like Denons that much. Denons is kind of a snark.
9.9% chance The judge is going to sign off on this. He will do it in the next day or two. The timing of when the judge does that is not anything to read into. 99.9% chance the judge is going to sign off on this. He will do it in the next day or two. The timing of when the judge does that is not anything to read into. There's bureaucracy at play here. This judge has a very busy docket. Part of that docket involves the most high profile murder case in the country right now. And so he's a very busy judge. He will get to this in the next day or two. If it takes him 3 days, though, I'm not going to be thinking anything of it. It's literally bureaucracy and the physics of how court administration works.
So yes, that's correct. So it could be so his reckless Ben's like first court appearance or is going for this case. Obviously, you can say his lawyer, so he might not appear in person because of the criminal charges. It will be June 30th. It could be that the TRO just expires before there's a motion to modify it. Before the motion to modify it has been signed off by the judge, the TRO could simply just expire.
Works. Next, what about those interveners? What about the 2 motions that got filed last week and that I went over in my last video? Well, those are basically going to go away. Either the judge or those parties will issue some kind of filing the next day or two saying...
Yes, so the Crystal Law Ben Gorman intervener, and as well as the AI intervener, the premise of their intervention is that Reckless Ben is not intervening. That Reckless Ben doesn't have lawyers and is not responding. And if he doesn't respond, it would hurt these 2 individuals. But now Reckless Ben has a legal team. He's responding, so it's what we call in law moot point. Billy says, I'm in Bowling Green, 20 miles south, 30,000 people. That's not bad. Being in the heart of it, like our local BAM. Okay, so yeah, so Billy is, he's kind of, that makes sense. 4,000 to 5,000 per month in a location recommended by corp. Yeah, so if you wanted to be in the heart of it, it would cost a lot more money, which that makes sense. So maybe I need to move like further away from Houston and look for like real estate that way. I was looking for real estate closer to Houston. We'll see.
You're saying they are moot. And what moot means is...
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Judge, there's no longer...
Look, I haven't watched this video and we're thinking exactly alike. It's moot.
Any reason to rule on those motions because we asked you to modify the TRO. That TRO now no longer exists in relevant form. And so our motions now no longer have a point. So those will go away. Does this mean because they're going to mediation that the case is going to resolve? Not necessarily. Mediation is going to be the parties making a real attempt to settle the case, but not every mediation settles. I think in my experience, most mediations I think don't settle. I think depending on where things stand between the plaintiffs, their finances, which I'm hoping to get to in a future video, and where things stand in terms of the PR against them is really going to dictate their current appetite for settlement. So we may have a mediation. It may or may not settle. I think it's likely.
If I was Ahmed McNeff, I would settle. The PR is so bad right now, and it's only going to get worse. According to Sheldon, who we'll have tomorrow, hopefully we'll have Sheldon tomorrow, Part 3 is way, way worse for Bricks and Minifigs than anything we've seen. So Part 1 kind of blew my mind. Wow, this is a very corrupt corporation. Part 2, wow, the police are in on it. Mormon Mafia. But according to Sheldon, who has, again, he's not seen it as some type of North Korean hacker, monkey implants or something like this, but obviously Sheldon has seen Part 3. Sheldon has seen Part 3. Part 3 is not up on Patreon, by the way, but you might want to subscribe to Patreon. You might start from Patreon. Part 3 is going to be a banger. Part 3 is, I don't know how much Sheldon can talk with, the North Korean hacker and all this stuff about it, but Part 3 should be an absolute banger, right, when it comes down to, it should be something that really takes down Bricks and Minifig. So Part 1 was about Bricks and Minifigs. Part 2 was about the police. Part 3 is back to Bricks and Minifigs. So look forward to that, right?
It's likely we're going to see a little bit more activity. We're going to probably see the defendants jump in and make some kind of filing here the next week or so. And like I said before, mediation will happen kind of in parallel to what's going on in the court case. So what should we expect to see in the case itself over the next few weeks. Well, first, there won't be a hearing on June 30th. That's now no longer necessary. Like I said before, the court will sign off on this this new.
It could be necessary. So this thing this thing is constantly changing. Again, I was online at 1:30 where I found the update. I was like, oh, shit. And actually, Alex had another update for you guys today, but we had to like redo it because we didn't want to publish the information that was old, especially when it changes like this. Again, like Reckless Ben, it's just constantly changing, constantly changing, constantly changing. I'm sure when part 3 comes out, we'll probably talk about that as well.
New restraining order in the next day or two. We may or may not see a motion by the parties to stay the case pending that mediation, although I think that's probably a little unlikely. Not impossible. I'd give it maybe a 33 to 45% chance of happening. I think they want to litigate a little bit. I think one thing that the defendants mentioned is that they have counterclaims. I think they probably want to get those counterclaims on file. So we will see.
Yes, counterclaims means now you pay us money, Bricks and Minifigs. You have defamed us. Or some, I don't know what the counterclaim will be. But once you get the counterclaims down, now it gets interesting.
Likely one or more of the following 3. Number 1, we might see that motion to stay. Number 2, we might see what's called a motion to dismiss by the defendants. And that is a motion where the defendants say there's something defective about what you've put in your complaint. And that doesn't mean on the merits. It's not a motion that means we're going to litigate the right and the wrong of what's in the complaint. It means that the complaint requires you, if you want to bring a cause of action for RICO, for example, you need to prove A, B, C, and D are the requirements of proving RICO. You only put A and B in your complaint. You didn't put C or D, so you failed to legally state a claim for RICO. It's arguing that there's some defectiveness in what they've alleged. They haven't alleged something that actually ends up being.
So we only have about an hour left or less, depending on the Pokemon deal. Okay, shout out to BBQ Counselor. He is in the Discord, and he makes really good videos. Very smart guy, practicing patent attorney in the state of California. He still owes us a BBQ video, though. So, he still owes us a BBQ video, but very well done videos. I really like this globe still. And then we'll move on to here, and then we'll talk about what might happen tomorrow, where will be interesting for you guys.
This is Reckless Ben, and he is behind one of the biggest LEGO controversies the world has ever seen.
A YouTuber has gone viral.
A nationwide LEGO aftermarket resale chain being sued for allegedly stealing
a very valuable LEGO collection.
It's so big that it has generated news headlines, countless YouTube videos, and even has its own Wikipedia page.
And what started as a simple investigation into children's
going through like the 10,000 emails, and we saw this one where it was about Legos. This company stole my Legos. I've done everything I can. The police are covering it up, and we're like, oh, that sounds fun. Like, that seems like family friendly. You know, that'll probably be like a fun video for us to do.
What are some of the rarest Lego items in this collection?
It's called the Cloud City set. I think it's worth $10,000. Some of the little minifigs go for a lot also. Like, they can be like a couple thousand. Most of them are around like $200-300, but there's just like hundreds of them, you know? So it's like they add up to a lot of money if you like calculate them all together.
Whenever you first heard about this Lego situation, did you imagine it would be as crazy as it turned out to be?
When the guy described it to me, he's like, dude, I've done everything I can. I mean, the whole like first like 5 minutes of the Lego video is just that first FaceTime call I had with him. So, I mean, I kind of felt like where the guy crosses his arms, he's like,
let me tell you what's going to happen. If we go to court, we're going to drag this thing out so long, and you're going to end up spending so much more money than your collection is ever worth or what you ever would have gotten on it, that it ain't worth it, man.
So I was like, oh, so this guy wants to play games like this? This is like my like arch nemesis. I like knew from the beginning that like this is like the perfect person to go against. So it's like what happens when like an unmovable force hits like an unstoppable object.
An 83-year-old man and his son Brian Mansell spent over 20 years building one of the largest private Star Wars Lego collections in the country. 780 plus sealed sets and over 1,200 minifigures. Starting back in the year 2000, they slowly built their collection up.
Okay, so let's go back. Oh, Matthew McNeff.
Who serves as the COO. How do they measure up in the terms of people that you've gone up against in the past, like Russ McCamey?
Before Ben's LEGO series, he made a video exposing McCamey Manor, which was widely considered the most extreme haunted house in America. He showed up in a duck onesie, got waterboarded, and ended up exposing the evil scam that Russ McCamey was running.
Once he found out that we were making like a hit piece against him, he's like, oh, well, if I keep interacting with them, I'm just giving them content. in the United States called the duty to read contracts law. It's always the signer's fault, basically. If you sign something, even if it's something stupid, it's like terms and conditions, like there's no way you're reading all 150 pages of these terms and conditions. They could put something crazy in there and you would have to follow it.
Ben's reasoning to have Amanda sign the contract was to avoid being trespassed like Brian was when he originally tried to get his collection back.
So he's like, if I got trespassed, you guys are definitely getting trespassed. That's something he told us.
So that like fired you up in your mind. They're like, oh, if you're going to trespass Brian.
Yeah, because he has an actual reason to be there. Like his Legos are in the store. And so he just went into the store to ask for his Legos back and they called the cops on him and trespassed him. Before we went, I was like, I want to at least make sure I'm safe. So we sent in my friend Sheldon. And so she signed a paper saying that we can't be trespassed for the next 10 years.
What was the next thing that you did?
Yeah, basically I put on a pair of spy camera glasses and I just walked in being like, hey, my friend has some of his Legos in here. He'd like to get them back. And that's when the manager basically is like, you were harassing me.
You want to watch the cameras? I'm being harassed. Watch the cameras.
Like, get out right now. And she calls on the phone, 911, get here immediately. Like, this hooligan is harassing me in my store. I thought it was a fair question. Like, hey, my...
Okay, the Pokemon deal. Okay, there's a Pokemon deal. What do you want me to say? Free 30? How much? Like, we cannot cover this video itself is an hour. We really need to stay focused to get okay. Free 30. In the middle of a live. I think that's as much as I can do, guys, and I will faint. I think we gotta crunch down on this and finish up the video and free 30. Do you have a price for everything? Yeah, I don't really price stuff. I just have the seller price me the stuff, and I see if it. No. He's okay. He lives like 10 minutes away. He lives 10 minutes away, guys. Free 30.
Hey, my friend has some Legos in here. Can we work together to see what's going on? Seems like this was realistically more like a defense mechanism for the store to be able to get away with its theft, because if they steal something and then say, hey, the person that we stole from is harassing me, then it allows them to not get in trouble for their crimes is what I think was happening.
So you dealt with the ridiculous, like, crying and screaming, oh, you're harassing me. And then the next thing you did was you took one of the employees out into the woods.
All cults do group rituals.
Oh my God. This is probably the weirdest part. Yeah, they took the employee out to the woods.
Talk to the owners about this. Like, this doesn't involve me, this involves the owners. But then when I asked her, like, okay, like, you set me up with like a meeting with the owners, she's like, I'm not giving you the owners' numbers. You gotta leave now or you're getting trespassed. And so I'm like, okay, so like, how am I supposed to like talk to the owner then if you won't give me the owner's number? And she's like, that's your problem. She was like, I don't want to give you your stuff back. And this is a loophole we're using. So basically we're like, okay, if we have to get the owner's.
So I don't know, like, Amanda. Do you think Amanda, what do you guys think about Amanda? Do you think, Amanda, the manager, is a villain, or do you think she was just trying to do her job? Like, I have mixed feelings. Now, Amanda is just kind of like one of those employees. I mean, we've all dealt with them, right? Employees who are not in the best mood, who are always kind of angry. And now she's having to deal with Reckless Ben, so I kind of get it. Why Amanda might have been, aggressive. But yeah, what do you guys think about Amanda? Let me know in the comments.
That was sick. We're basically like, okay, now we have the owner's number. And so we call him. And what he basically says, I'm not in that contract. Like, Brian made the contract with the previous owner. For me to be under contract with someone, I have to sign a piece of paper. I never signed something with Brian, so I'm not under contract with him. And obviously my response to that was, yeah, but you took over that agreement when you took over the store. Like, he's like, but that's not how the law works.
Josh Johnson's defense this entire time has been pretty simple. He never personally signed a contract with Brian. The consignment agreement was between Brian and the previous owners, Crystal and Ben Gorman. So in his mind...
Okay, Pokemon confirmed. We have until 3:30, so we have another extra hour plus to watch this video, so that's good.
When he took over the store, he also took over the inventory and
works. So Josh is just wrong. He thinks I'm just some kid that doesn't know the law.
They think that just because it changed ownership that somehow the Legos that are on consignment are all of a sudden their property. Like, it just makes no sense. They think they can just get away with
it makes no sense unless you have taken the Legally Mind LLC training course. If you took over the training course, then it would make perfect sense what they're trying to teach you to do.
My objective here today is to make you homeless. You laugh, but the fact is, by the time I'm done with the next 15, 20 minutes, people. Why would they sue a homeless person? There's no motivation.
Okay, once you see this.
If you walk into a plaintiff's attorney and you can show them that there's no motivation to sue you, that may very well end the lawsuit where it stands. What is the motivation for a lawsuit?
Money.
Whose money? Your money, right? Your money. Let me ask you this. How often do you think trial attorneys sue homeless people? Why would they sue a homeless person? There's no motivation to sue a homeless person, right? Believe it or not, my objective here today is to make you homeless. You laugh, but the simple fact is, by the time I'm done with the next 15, 20 minutes, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. I want you to never own anything of significant value in your name, because as soon as you do, you become a target for the lawsuits. And so we want you to be homeless.
Okay, so if you take the course, the Legally Mine course, I think it costs around $8,000 to $10,000, but it's okay because you're going to skim on taxes at least that much money. You're going to realize that like a lot of what their logic is like weird, right? It doesn't make common sense.
Get away with it because why? Like, I don't really understand.
It is a little complicated, it's a little confusing. So I think they're trying to use the confusion to get away with it. Like, oh, it's confusing. So even though we're in the wrong, we can just claim that we were confused. We'll be like, oh, we weren't trying to steal them. This was just a confusing legal dispute. Maybe we were in the wrong, but because it's so confusing, we weren't intentionally doing something bad. It was just a confusing situation.
So yeah, that's kind of how I view Amanda. It is confusing. It's confusing. I don't know what's going on. Oh, Binks, thank you for the €6. I think Amanda might stolen some Star Wars sets on the job. It might be evil brain behind it. That's probably a joke, right? No, I don't think Amanda has any power. I think Amanda is, yeah, I can stream. I can put you, stream standard. I can put you, Goosey. I'll add you as a mod. You should be a mod now. Okay, let's continue on.
Is the kind of thing, but the actual loophole he's trying to use is that Crystal and Brian made the agreement, not me. So since I'm not in agreement with Brian, I don't have to give him his stuff back. I don't have an agreement with him that says I have to. You know, he's like, what law says I have to give the stuff back? Like when I inherited the store, I inherited everything in the store, even though those weren't his to inherit. That's the thing I keep saying, and that's when I bring.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Like I mean, so their whole argument doesn't make any sense. There's consignment owed at the store, with that specific store, with that specific address and location, and that specific business name. You can't this is like a really awful way to treat your customers. And given how dangerous, it is that you, according to corporate, as long as a franchise has a new owner, which happens often, the consignment agreements are all wiped out, and they're all nulled, and you're never made whole. You get $0 after that. That would be something insane.
When I bring that up, then his answer is, well, you can sue me then, you know? Yeah, every time he gets proven wrong, it just comes down to, okay, sue me then.
We just missed it. We just had a rough fall. Dude, how did you just eat that fall so effortlessly and just get right back up?
When I found out how hard it was for Brian to sue this company, if he tries to sue them, they know how to drag it out in court in order to make it more expensive than the Lego set's worth. So then even if he wins the court case, he'll just lose money on court. Like he'll still be at a net negative, if that makes sense.
Yeah. What's their motivation?
So before this, Joshua Johnson and Eamon both had previous businesses. Eamon's was called Legally Mine.
He ran a company called Legally Mine.
Oh, shit. Maybe we will learn more. So in part 1, we didn't really hear much about Legally Mine. Part 2 was more about police. Ben is very well aware of Legally Mined. So I wonder if part 3 is going to be about the weird connections. So I'm guessing, what part 3 could be about, right? Could it be about Legally Mined? And that's why it will, once part 3 comes out, it will basically force them into submission and settlement.
A business that helps people protect their assets from lawsuits. His entire professional career is built around finding legal ways to hold on to things. His partner, Joshua Johnson, has a background in asset protection as well.
The irony is that if you look at how Bricks and Minifigs has handled this whole situation, pointing to the franchise, distancing corporate from the franchisee's obligations, and hiding behind arbitration clauses, that's not a coincidence. That's the exact playbook Legally Mine sold to clients.
I wonder if that's part 3, is they investigate Legally Mine. So part 1, bricks and minifigs. Part 2, corrupt police. Part 3, legally mined, right? That would be very interesting.
What's interesting is their court records show Eamon McNeff and his brother Matt filed a lawsuit against their own father over control of Legally Mine. The case was eventually dropped.
We
Like
covered
an
a
illegal
lot of
business
this.
move against Brian, and it's destroying Brian's life. But if we do an illegal business move against bricks and minifigs and have it destroy their life to see how they like it, we can just bully them the same way they're bullying Brian. Like how corporate would just say, hey, go to the franchise. We can't control our franchises. And the franchise would go, hey, corporate told us to do this. Go to corporate. They just bounce back each other. So I was like, we could just do the same thing back to them. You know, like all of their bad business moves, we just Uno reverse card it back onto them and see how they like it.
So Ben decides to fight fire with fire. He sets up a real, legally registered company called We Steal From Old People and lists bricks and minifigs as the tagline above it. In America, there's no law.
And we came back, we put a bigger sign over later, but that's kind of a spoiler for the end. That's the cool thing about our channel is, yeah, every time we mess up, we just find out where we went wrong, and then we just like 10x it for the next attempt, you know? Yeah, I was selling stuff outside the store. We had like mugs. Oh, I think we have one left over still. Let's see.
Wait, so this right here is a 1 of 1.
So if I were, again, maybe there's some copyright issue with the bricks and minifigs, but there's no copyright issue with the We Steal From Old People. Just like CoffeeZilla, I would just like sell t-shirts, sell mugs, fundraise that way as well. So if I were Ben, I would definitely fundraise by selling merchandise. Again, probably getting rid of, just to be safe, getting rid of the bricks and minifigs logo, just to be safe.
Bricks and
one of like
minifigs.
6. I think we had like 6 of them probably, and I sold like 5 while I was outside their store, and this is the only one that didn't sell.
Legendary cup. So yeah, you're posted up
Oh,
outside of
wow.
the business.
You know, so those people who bought 5 of those cups, I bet you one of them is on eBay now. Given like how valuable those cups could be, if you want the original cup, there's 6 of them. Ben has one, and the other 5 was actually sold to random customers. Wow.
Selling your own merchandise.
Yeah, it says bricks and minifigs, we steal from old people. What bricks and minifigs doesn't know is that when we go to court, that's when we make our grand reveal. We steal from old people is actually the company name. Then bricks and minifigs is actually just the tagline. Yeah, they called the cops on us, and I've already been trespassed. Like if I leave before they sue me, then the whole plan's gone. So I was like, how do we still get them to sue me and me not leave the scene? So I had someone else whose name was Ben. His name was Ben too. We had the exact same outfit on. We did like a switcheroo. This is now a legal term called a switcheroo. So we just.
Oh my god! Like, I was wondering why. So this part confused me. I was like, what is it? What are they doing here, right? But yeah, it was the switcheroo.
Switcheroo, which is the legal way we avoided the cops, and he ended up talking to the cops as I got away. I tried to swim across the river, but it was too cold. The cops called me and we did the same thing back on them. I was sick, and they're like, but who? Like, we need to talk to the person in charge. And then Ben's just like, oh, you can talk to corporate. He's like, I don't know, I can't give you his name, but if you want to talk to him, here you go. And I'm like, this is corporate. And we just didn't tell him. Like, basically Uno reversed them, and they were like pissed off. You know, it's like, haha, this is what you've been doing to us the whole time.
Yeah.
You know,
Introduce them to the bureaucratic mess.
I told the CEO, I was like, he's like, this is not the way you do this. I'm like, I can't control my franchises.
That's so funny. Okay, I got it. Talk to corporate. Talk to corporate. That was pretty funny.
I'm just like some stupid person. I don't really know what like civil crimes are and like criminal crimes. So I did a lot of research. Like, okay, defamation, you know, that's like a civil crime. There's like criminal crimes. I was like just reading through like the thousands of crimes that are criminal crimes, you know, just looking to see if they committed any of these, you know. Stealing from a lottery was a criminal crime in Oregon. Well, what if we just do a lottery, you know? Like if we sell one of his sets in a lottery, then they'll have stolen from a lottery, they'll have committed a criminal crime. And it's like black and white, the police have to arrest them, you know? Everyone was telling me, like, dude, no way the police arrest them. I'm like, why not? And they're like, I don't know, they probably don't know the law. So I was like, okay, I'll pull out the Oregon law book. So I literally got the Oregon law book.
Yeah, the police do not know the law, and nor do they want to understand the law. At no point in time is the police trying to learn the law, right? Let's take a look at this issue. So in Utah, there is a statute which means you don't have to roll down your window the whole way.
Roll down your window.
It's fine.
Roll down your window.
No, it's fine.
I'm not asking you a question.
It's fine.
I am not asking you a question.
Give me my ticket.
You want me to have highway come and break this window?
Give me my ticket.
Roll down your window.
Give me my ticket, sir.
Roll down your window.
What am I being pulled over for?
Because you just went into the carpool lane and you were...
So, for us to expect this cop to know that in Utah, you don't have to roll down the window. You can just roll it down this much, give them the auto insurance, and give them the ID. We couldn't possibly expect a cop to know that, right? A detective, nonetheless, who's probably pulled over dozens, if not hundreds, if not dozens of hundreds of individuals before. We could not expect him to know Utah statute.
It's in my room and I can pull it out. We got the Oregon Law Book, Oregon Revised Statutes, Volume 4 of the Criminal Procedure Crimes. So this isn't civil crimes. This is the Criminal Law Book of Oregon. We circled, you can see all this stuff we highlighted in here. We highlighted it. We circled all the crimes that they broke. They have broken a criminal crime. The police are required to investigate this now. The first officer, he's like, you're right. He's like, let's do it.
yeah, the first officer, yeah. Dude, he has no idea what he's doing. Look how many pages he's flipping. Look. Is he paid? Okay, well, first officer.
Criminal crime. The police are required to investigate this now. The first officer, he's like, you're right.
No, there's no way. Look at how he's flipping the pages. There's no way this officer's reading anything. Guys, come on, look at the page flip. Can I make it like really like? Okay. I'm going to make it slow-mo.
This is the Criminal Law Book of Oregon. We circled, you can see all this stuff we highlighted in here. We highlighted it. We circled all the crimes that they broke. They have broken a criminal crime. The police are required to investigate this now. The first officer.
Look at how many pages go by, guys. This guy has no idea. Look at, he's in the middle of the book. He's flipping pages. Dude, there's no way in hell this officer's reading this, guys. He's pretending to read. Look at this. There's 3 pages that go by like this. When you read a book, that's not how you read a book. Guys. Yeah, he opened to the middle of the book, started flipping pages, exactly where Stick Siphon. And then, yeah. Guys, look, this guy's not reading. I can assure, this is not any type of book. This is a very, very, very onerous, hard to read book. This is a book of just statutes in Oregon. This is one of the worst reading books you can ever read. Not even most lawyers don't even want to read this book. The relevant page is probably not in the middle of the book.
Officer, he's like, you're right.
And he's like, Look, he starts nodding even before he reads it. Guys, he started nodding even before he got to the page. For everyone saying, oh, he's just flipping to the page, he literally started nodding before he even had the chance to read anything.
Right. He's like, let's do a police.
Look, he continues to flip. He's flipping more and more and more, right?
Investigation on this, and that's when you can see in the footage the cop like whispers something in the other guy's ear, and then they were talking for like 30 seconds privately, and then they were just like, oh, you guys are trespassed, nope, not doing this criminal case anymore, like you guys got to get out or else you're getting in handcuffs is what they said. And we're like, what, but they just did a criminal crime, we haven't done anything illegal, like shouldn't you be arresting the criminals? And they're like, nope, we're arresting you guys. I'm like, why? And then they just left. This is when Josh finally tells us he's gonna give us the Legos back, because I think we've just been, because I called Josh and he's like,
no one wants to read that book. No law student wants to read that book. No lawyer wants to read that book. That book is incredibly dense, right? Incredibly dense.
You just committed this criminal crime. The police will be arresting you soon. And this is when he's finally like, okay, like you just gotta apologize and give us these like reviews and stuff. So like all of us, we made like a 5-star review on the Lego website. I think mine's still on. You can like see it. I was like, Amanda was so patient with me. She was very understanding and she's the best. We're gonna get arrested, and then you can see because they had a month to give us the Legos back, and every day they're like, "Oh, we'll give it back tomorrow. We'll give it back tomorrow. We'll give it back tomorrow." Every day for a month, and they never gave it back. That's been this whole video is them just trying to make up ways to get us in jail, and that way they don't have to give the stuff back.
In the moment, are you maybe thinking that these guys have a little bit of good faith and are actually possibly going to give you the Legos back?
I mean, yeah, I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, no, we genuinely thought we were getting the Legos back. We're like, yeah, and that's why we're like kind of disappointed in that clip. Dang, there was so much stuff we still wanted to do. I didn't think someone could swear on God and everything and break that.
I'm not gonna get one man, but you're absolutely wrong. You are so wrong about that. This is legal statute. It takes a long time. No, don't delete his message. I want to make sure that people understand legal statute is incredibly boring. Even if you highlight it, you cannot read it that fast. That is another individual making up lies that are clearly lies. Guys, let me tell you what that book is. It's a book of all the Utah statute. Even if you highlighted everything, there's no way he can read that fast and understand what it means. In fact, if I read it, I would have to read it 5 times to understand what it means, guys. No, let him look like an idiot. He looks like an absolute buffoon. Undelete his comments, please. I don't know if we can do that. He looks like a complete idiot. Me as a lawyer, not a police officer, as a trained lawyer with over 10 years experience, I have books like that in my home. you would have to read it, double check it. The statutes would probably point at different things. For you to understand that is crazy. I couldn't do it. My dad can't do it, and he's really, really good at law, right? They deleted a chat. We'll move on. But it was a guy saying, like, just crazy, stupid stuff.
Break that promise.
Yeah, was it a surprise at all to find out that Brandon and Josh were Mormon?
Yeah, dude, that was crazy. I think in Mormonism, it's like super wrong to steal. They've made their whole careers out of just stealing from people. They're either Mormons and are masochists, or they're fake Mormons. It's one or the other. It can't be anything else, I don't think.
After every direct approach failed, the police, the DA, the good faith conversations, and the lottery, Ben and his team came up with one more move. Legal stuff.
So we went to their houses and we had to have what's called a good faith conversation before suing them. Hey, we know you closed down the store to avoid being sued by us. We are just going to sue you personally, so we can talk it out, or we can just sue you again. What do you want? Brandon was dead silent, didn't answer me. You're not going to answer, I guess we'll just sue you.
Oh, we haven't seen Brandon. Okay, Brandon's home is really nice. Like, I don't think Josh stole the Legos, guys. Josh's home is, like, okay, but it's not Brandon's home. Have you guys seen Brandon's home? Have you guys seen Brandon's home? It's very nice.
Really counted as a good faith conversation. So
you're one of the only people that I know personally. We're 30, by the way. But, you know, as 30-year-olds, you don't know that many people who've been in lawsuits. How do you feel about, you know, actually trying to, in good faith, use the legal system? Because it seems quite difficult.
Dude, it's so boring. Oh my gosh, I hate the legal system. Well, that was kind of part of the joke too, is we're like, let's just follow the legal system. I'm just going to his house to serve papers.
You just found some random girl that could serve papers on Instagram. What was going through your head when the cop was explaining that you should do exactly what you were doing while insisting that you're doing the wrong thing?
I kept just asking him, like, hey, what's Josh's side of the story? And it just seemed like the cops didn't really know what was going on, because they like came back and they're like, I've never seen these papers. They kept saying the court case was fake. And once they verified it was real, that's when they finally arrested me.
Yeah, follow the money, guys. Follow the money. Josh's home is like, it's okay, but it's not Brandon's home. Let me tell you this. Brandon lives in a very, very nice home. That's like twice the size of, like, maybe 3 times the size. I don't know if you have a 4-car garage. That seems like a lot of car garage, but Brandon's home is really, really nice.
Video.
It sucks. I should have gone out and talked to Josh earlier, but I didn't want to be rude. You know, I was like, he's like on the phone with someone. Turns out he was on the phone with the police. I thought he was just on the phone with like corporate, you know. If I come in while he's on the phone, he's probably just gonna get super pissed, and like, I wanted his full attention. You know, he's gonna be like distracted. He's like, hey, Ben, blah, 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 and he could use his phone call as a reason to not talk to me. You know, like, I'm on the phone, like, don't talk to me. So I thought waiting until his phone call ended was the best thing to do, you know? So I was like, okay, I'll wait for his phone call. But then before he gets off the phone, the police show up. I think what happens is he's on the phone with the police already, and then he's like, this mysterious car showed up. I bet it's Ben Schneider. I think one of my favorite parts was when they're like, this is a civil matter, so you just have to handle it civilly. And they're like, he doesn't want your papers, you just have to figure it out civilly. And I'm like, this is the civil method, you know? Like, to do it civilly, you have to serve. They're like, well, then just sue him then. I'm like, that's what we're doing. Like, well, this is the civil method. Like, to do it civilly, you have to sue. Yeah, but this is like stalking him, so just take him to court and handle it civilly. Like, but this is a circle. Like,
yeah, like there's no other way to do it.
Yeah, this is like, so this is the, Bricks and Minifigs playbook. Corporate will say, oh, it's up to the store. The store says, it's up to corporate. Oh, it's up to the store. No, it's corporate. We're trying to sue you by serving you papers. Oh, no, you can't do that. Just sue him. No, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to serve him papers just to sue him. No, this is civil, guys. We don't want to get involved. Just sue him. No, that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to serve you papers, right? Like, this is the same as, like, where's Ben's logos? Oh, ask corporate. Corporate said, oh, ask, Josh, the owners. No, ask corporate. It's the BAM playbook. Yes, it's exactly what they do all the time. They put you in this infinite loop, and it just never ends. It just kind of continues on.
Probably in some of the body cam footage where I'm like, if we take him to court for not being able to sue him, then we will be back here tomorrow to sue him for not being able to sue him. Like, how does that make any sense? You know, we should have just not asked questions and then come back the next day to sue him for not being able to sue him. Like, hey, we're just doing what the police told us. Like, this is literally, we're following the instructions. But
the police are just siding with his word over yours.
Yeah. Thing and see if they can go to heaven, you know? So I legitimately thought that was a way to get the Legos back and also help Josh from going to the outer darkness. Like, I really thought that was going to work, but it didn't work. And then that's when the cops pulled us over for heroin.
This is where things get disturbing. Ben and his crew got pulled over by local police. The officers claimed probable cause to search the car and spent 3 hours looking for heroin that was never there. Ben wasn't allowed to film, and the body cam footage he later obtained had the audio redacted. The same police department had already been intervening repeatedly on Johnson's behalf, preventing Ben from serving him papers, arresting him for doing nothing illegal, and issuing a protective order for Johnson against Ben.
Letting them go cannot be an option here, guys. Like, there's got to be something for cyber stalking, bullying.
I like how, like, again, you know, not to, like, excuse Josh, but, like, when Ahmed McNeff is on the phone, your boss is literally on the phone, like, telling the police what they need to do. Like, Josh he's not the mastermind. It's gotta be Ahmed McNeff. Like, Ahmed McNeff is such a douchebag. And, you know, again, I just don't see this guy being the mastermind behind it. He's not smart enough. Plus, the mastermind would be, like, the reverse situation, right? Would be the mastermind would be, like, it just doesn't make any sense. It's got to be Ahmed McNeff.
Like all of the different things, like there's got to be something to arrest them and send a message that this is not appropriate, this is not okay.
The public was so outraged at the American Fork Police Department that they held a protest against them, which Reckless Ben showed up to in a disguise. Did you have any idea that you'd be getting arrested?
No, dude, I didn't think there was a chance of me getting arrested. Well, first off, I thought you had to do something illegal to get arrested, was like my thought. But if I get arrested for not doing something wrong, it's kind of epic. Almost like a modern day Rosa Parks type of thing, you know, where it's like, oh, I got falsely arrested, now we're going to get the public outraged, you know?
Well, it just shows the power that the police have when it is not used properly. It's insane what they can do to you.
Well, a little inside information, I guess. When I was in jail, there was one other woman that was in jail with me, and she got arrested for paying too much for toilet paper at Walmart. As they arrested her for taking toilet paper she did not pay for, even though she overpaid and paid for the more expensive one. Like, this is probably a daily thing in this where they just arrest.
Oh shit! Wow, can we get so Reckless Ben is saying that when he was in jail, there was a woman besides him, and the woman paid for the more expensive toilet paper, but then got arrested for not paying for the cheap one, because he had paid for the more expensive toilet paper. Like this, I think this terrorization, like them I mean, there's no other way to say it. This is, police brutality. This is like the police, like, putting the fear in God and all the Mormons out there. So, like, if this story is correct, it's insane. They put the woman in jail for buying the more, paying for the more expensive toilet paper, when in fact she bought the cheaper one. You would think a business would actually be happy about that because they made even more margins. That's crazy to me. That's a crazy story. So why would this woman need to go to jail? Like, in what other state or county would, like, she be sent to jail for stealing toilet paper?
Arrest people for whatever reason, you know what I mean? It was probably a good thing I got arrested because now we're making it public.
And it seems like there's like nothing that's going to be done to these police in Utah. Like, unless they all lose their job, they're kind of just getting away with it, right?
I think this has like gotten too big now where they can't like hide it anymore.
I'd like to address the members of our American Fork community regarding some videos currently circulating on social media. These videos are affiliated with an influencer on YouTube and other social media platforms and stem from a dispute involving Legos that originates in the state of Oregon. Mr. Johnson reported to Officer Tonga that he believed the male was an individual named Benjamin Snyder.
I think a lot of the people in like American Fork too are like really tired of their police situation. It's like the cops way or no way. It's like whatever the cops want, that's how it goes, kind of is the vibe I feel like down there.
The police said to you word for word, we play differently around here? Was that what it was?
Oh, yes, we play differently. Oh, God. We play... Thank you, Rich Decipher.
You could end up in jail in Utah when you're from Cali. Okay. Not worth it, right? Yeah. We play differently.
Mr. Johnson reported
to
Officer Tonga that he...
Oh, no.
I'm willing to cooperate with you guys and do anything you want me to because I'm not hiding anything. I can promise you that. I promise.
We weren't giving the police a false...
When you're from Cali. Okay. Not worth it, right? Yeah. We play differently here. Does that make...
We play differently here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. We play differently here. Yeah, I get it.
that he believed the male was an individual named Benjamin Snyder.
I think a lot of the people in like American Fork too are like really tired of their police situation. It's like the cops way or no way. It's like whatever the cops want, that's how it goes, kind of is the vibe I feel like down there.
The police said to you word for word, we play differently around here? Was that what it was?
We play differently here. Does that make sense?
Oh, you got to repeat it out.
We play differently around here. Yeah, it was word for word. Yeah.
That is not something a cop should be saying.
No, cops should play the same. They should just play fair. You know, like why?
Yeah.
And so if most cops play fair and they play serve his court papers.
In person, when all this was happening, how obvious was it that the police were working with Bricks and Minifigs behind the scenes?
I don't know if they were necessarily working with Bricks and Minifigs. I think the police, probably just like what that lawyer said, like they see this businessman come out with a suit and a tie, you know, and he's like, I run this business. These kids from California come in are harassing me, you know? Like, I guess it is kind of a bad look. At the end of the day, like, this businessman stole a bunch of money. We had the proof he did it, and the police should just listen to the proof, you know? Also, in the unredacted footage, he mentions Mormonism a lot. He's like, I'm pretty high up Mormon, you know? Like, I'm on, like, the high-ranked council or something. I think he said.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think about the Mormon Mafia? Is it real? Sometimes I think it's really real, and sometimes I don't think it is. I do believe they are picking on non-Mormons, of course, right? Specifically the American Fork Police Department. They arrested this guy like an hour away. They arrested this guy an hour away and was forced to apologize to him.
Hey, Mr. Kitchen, Detective Kitchen, or Mr. Booker, sorry about that.
No,
Detective Kitchen here.
It's so stupid. Hey, Mr. Kitchen, this is Detective Kitchen here. Oh, sorry, Mr. Booker. No, you can't. I think they're just incompetent. I think there is some level of incompetence, guys. He doesn't even know, like, hi, Mr. Kitchen. I didn't catch that part. Hi, Mr. Kitchen, this is Detective Kitchen here. Oh, I mean, Mr. Booker. Dude, this guy barely knows his own name, guys. How can we expect the police not to abuse people, citizens, if he doesn't even know his real name?
Okay.
I'll pass this off to him real quick.
Alrighty.
Hey, Mr. Kitchen, Detective Kitchen.
Hey, Mr. Kitchen, Detective Kitchen here. Like, come on, guys. Like, there's some type of incompetence, like, where they all need to be retrained and, like, retaught things. But, like, I don't think this is, like, I think this is, like, the worst storm possible, right? Sheer incompetence meets malice. And then they start rolling the tornado, right? Hey, this is, Mr. Kitchen? Detective Kitchen. Hey, Mr. Kitchen. Detective Kitchen here. Oh, God. Jesus Christ, it's so stupid.
Mr. Booker, sorry about that.
Oh, Mr. Booker.
No, Detective Kitchen here.
Detective Kitchen here. Yeah, gotta repeat Detective Kitchen. Oh, God, Detective Kitchen. Yes, we know it's you, Detective Kitchen.
So, let me explain again. So, the initial reason for my stop was I was under the assumption that was an HOV exit only lane.
But why would he be under? He's an hour away from American Fork. They caught him in like the middle, like why is he pulling people over an hour away? To abuse them. That's just all brutality.
I think he said it was on like council, maybe.
I was sitting there just thinking about it. I went to church and came back.
The police look at him. He's like, oh, a nice church-going businessman getting harassed by these kids that don't even belong here. And they just took their side. In Mormonism, you have to pay 10% of your income to the Mormon church. Yeah, 10%. So if they're making like $1 million, it's $100,000 a year. So they're donating a lot of money, and the police are gonna be like, they donate a lot of money. Maybe we'll help them out. You know, I don't know. I'm just speculating, but
it's a maddening thing. And I saw something online that was really cool. I wanted to read to you. You know, you've done so many videos in the past that have been wild, and somebody posted online. They said the reason the Lego videos blew up when the others didn't is because instead of fighting cults, Ben's fighting the exact systems we're all fed up with.
Like
yes, I think that's correct. Just like the hey, this is Mr. Kitchen, Detective Kitchen here. People are sick of it. No, and then again, so we just saw Mr. Kitchen apologize. Wait till and then apology, and then he accepted the apology, and then he's like, apology rescinded or rejected. Because after doing this, after apologizing to Mr. Booker, they then wrote like a fake police report about him, where like nothing like you know. So it's really interesting, right? He has like 2 videos. One is like he changed it. One is unexpected. This is basically apology accepted. And the other ones, now the apology has been rejected because you continue to lie about. Like, dude, you had to apologize. You apologized on that, and it was all caught. And then you continue to lie about the guys. It's like, you know, and the guy originally was like very like, oh, cool. I accept your apology. Like, he just took the apology, said, I accepted. Just like this. Thank you guys for calling. I accept. And then later on, he finds out, wait a second. Like a few weeks later, 2 weeks later, he finds out, wait a second. They didn't apologize. They didn't mean their apology because in the police report, it lies about what happened. You know? So then that's why the apology has been rejected because you can't make this stuff up. Like, it's either sheer incompetence or like, I don't know how, I don't know why they believe they could get away with it. They got caught. The police chief had to apologize on his behalf. Detective Kitchens had to call and apologize. Okay, so that's bad. That's very bad. And then 2 weeks later in the police report, he finds out, Mr. Booker finds out, hey, nothing you said here was real. Clearly, you didn't apologize because now you're making up even more shit about me to make me look worse. Like, if you have to apologize and then somebody takes back the... If you apologize and somebody accepts the apology and later they have to reject the apology, it's because you messed up. You messed up a lot.
The whole thing was never really about Legos. It was kind of just about like legal loopholes and taking down a bad guy trying to bully a sick old man, you know? And then Legos is just like the medium, I guess.
We have the unredacted version of that now, and we can see that the police were literally like scheming.
We were just kind of laughing at how absurd the situation was. Like, I mean, you can kind of see in the footage too, like we turn the camera away and we just crack up laughing. It's like, is this real life? You know, like how is this a thing? You know, we're just like, this is so funny. I mean, I guess the only solution is they're trying to protect him, I guess, you know? And he has a protective order on him now from the police. So it's not even like a secret they're trying to protect him. Like they are actually trying to protect him. Like there's an actual protective order on him right.
Correct, there is a protective order. So, Josh Johnson, the guy threatening to, you know, something bad will happen to these kids, he's the one who needs protecting.
Now.
Yeah, like legally they are protecting him.
Yeah, the order on him against me is called a protective persons order for Joshua Johnson against me. So the police have admitted that they are protecting. Like that's not like a conspiracy. Like that is written in the law that the police are protecting Joshua Johnson.
Man, what could be done in your mind to fix it at this point?
Well, that's when we did like, hey, let's just do a GoFundMe.
With the legal system blocked at every turn, Ben started a GoFundMe to raise the money to reimburse Brian directly for the Legos that he was owed. By June 2026.
In Utah, they have crowdfundophobia. It's a really rare condition. It's like super rare, but we just got really unlucky where someone in the American Fork Police Department had crowdfundophobia. And like, we have to be sympathetic for this because it's not his fault, you know?
Crowdfundophobia. Oh, God. Could you imagine, like, him and Sheldon? Like, you know, Sheldon's kind of a crazy guy, too. Like, discussing plans. I would love to, like, see, like, just them talking, right? I would love to see, like, Sheldon and then Ben just talking. You know? Because I think it would be so interesting to watch them, like, just talk to each other.
That he was born with this condition, but they are terrified of GoFundMes.
Is that where our story ends off? Pretty much at this point?
Kinda, yeah. And then, well, right when I got out of jail, they put another warrant for my arrest for some mystery reason. You'll find out about in episode 3. Cops started showing up at my house.
Oh.
They're actually...
Cops showed up at his house. Okay, so this is about episode 3. This is interesting. So, at least we know that it somehow involves... So, from Sheldon, it somehow involves Josh Johnson. From Ben, we now know it's police showing up to his home.
Actually still at my I'm still not at my house right now because a cop is just like sitting there like waiting for me to like go in and out. One of my roommates just texted me like yesterday night, like the cop is back, like just sitting there waiting for you to come out, you know. And yeah, the cops are waiting to get me. It's crazy.
I want to talk about how you got the unredacted footage.
At first, a bunch of people started calling the police station. The police said that they got hacked. I put in my video, I was like, the American Fork Police got hacked and we're gonna review the footage.
Yeah. Okay, so there was a big confusion. So like because the story is moving so fast, and you know, honestly, as a YouTuber, you gotta kind of get your content out there. I remember this. There was a confusion whether or not the police department got hacked, right? Even Ben himself said that the footage, the unredacted footage, was from a hacker. And that's where Sheldon's getting the North Korea skit from. That there was some type of hacker. But it turned out the police department themselves, which later on they would admit, they were the ones who leaked the information by mistake. So again, pretty bizarre. Pretty bizarre. I mean, I remember, like, I thought Ben, like, somebody hacked in. It never occurred to me the police would be so incompetent that they would upload 50 gigabytes, which seems to me like a lot, of unredacted footage. But that's what happened, because the police literally said that's what happened. So yeah, there was like the big difference here is if the police footage was hacked, we couldn't use it. But if the police footage was leaked by the police department themselves, and they were telling people, hey, everyone look at this footage, which they were, because they didn't know it was the wrong footage, then it's up to the police department, right? So there was actually a very big difference between hacked and non-hacked.
But I think they just said that because they were too embarrassed of what actually happened, which was they just leaked it themselves in accident. But the official...
Yes. So the police department themselves looks like they said they were hacked because they were so embarrassed. But then, of course, an internal investigation then found out, yes, indeed, it was the police department who hacked themselves.
The official narrative at the beginning from the American Fork Police was they got hacked. So then the public comes out and they're like, no, you actually didn't get hacked. You guys are lying to us. Again, you guys leaked it. Here's the proof. And they were actually able to prove that. Because I guess if they get hacked, then we can't use the footage, you know, because it's like, oh, this is not public. But if they leak it...
That's correct. So, like, this thing was crazy. Like, you guys, like, we were, like, day, like, what, month, whatever. But, like, the story, like this, I remember this part of the story thinking, oh, there's nothing that's going to get more crazy than this. Right? Like, the police department is supposedly getting hacked, and then it didn't get hacked, and then it's like they leaked it themselves. Now there's an inside mole in the police department of only like 15 people. I remember when this came out, it was like huge news because like no one like, obviously the unredacted footage was huge news. So like, but then the idea of like them getting hacked was like, whoa, who hacked them, right? I remember people telling me Asmongold hacked them. Asmongold had like some type of like hacker and he was the one who hacked. I remember seeing comments about that, but again, none of that was true.
Even if it's an accident for them, it still counts as an official like documents being released. You know, my phone number got leaked, social security number got leaked.
So I've been hanging out with you the past 2 days, and we've been taking calls from random fans.
Yeah, are you been calling me? Yeah, it's been sick.
And they've been very nice.
Yeah, I like talking to them. They're sick, dude. First it was like it's slowed down now, but it was like every 3 minutes I was getting a new call. I like couldn't call anyone, but yeah, I'll probably just end up changing it, I guess. It's been fun talking to fans though, dude. Someone invited us to their birthday. That was sick. I have like the best fans in the world. So
how do you feel about Bricks and Minifigs' initial response to the context of everything that has happened since?
I mean, it's just the same stuff they've always been doing. Oh, we'll give Brian his Legos back. I mean, they say that, but they still, it's been almost a month now and they still haven't given the Legos back. So it's like, you can see a pattern here, you know, like they're going to say, oh, we'll do the right thing. So, but here's the thing is like actions speak louder than words. They say they're going to do the right thing and no one believes. It's like, just do the right thing. Like, why say you're going to do the right thing if you're not going to do it? Just do it. And that will speak.
That he reacted the way he did. Like, he did the right thing.
Not universally. Bricks and Minifigs is pretty pissed, but
everyone but them. So you've already been through so much with these Legos. You've been arrested. You've been accused of having heroin on you. And then you get swatted.
But I had no clue that it was about to get
wait till you see this.
Worse.
Look, this is the guy pointing the gun at your genitalia. What? Look at how much his gun moves. Like, what is this guy doing? Look at this guy. This is the worst of them, right? Oh, Asmon said he called Ben. Ben told him that it was hacked because the police told Ben it was hacked. And then somebody in Asmon chat said, "I'm the hacker." Yeah.
Make yourself known.
What? It literally shifts from like completely different angles. Oh, here. Pointing at the genitalia. Pointing at the ground. Here we go.
And they dislocated your shoulder. I know you've had shoulder and neck issues, but
yeah, it's so bad.
You didn't make any movement at all.
What I ended up finding out after watching like the unredacted body cam stuff is he's like, make sure no one's filming inside. Like, do whatever you can. Like, they're gonna try to film, but make sure they don't film. You know?
Yeah. Remember. The most dangerous thing, according to American Fork Police, isn't guns. It isn't guns. It is cameras, guys. They are definitely afraid of cameras.
Before we enter the property, the cop warns all the other police officers to make sure we are not filming.
Hey, they're probably going to be quick to film.
They're probably going to be quick to film? That sounds like they're probably going to be quick to draw their weapons. We got to get them before.
They're probably going to be quick to pull their phones out, so just be aware of that.
We're allowed to film police officers.
They're probably going to be quick to pull their phones out. Be aware of that, guys.
Like that's not allowed, you know,
totally legal.
And so I'm just filming like on my phone, like not super nonchalant. I'm just kind of holding my phone like this, you know, like not looking at my phone. I just recorded just to get the audio of everything. And once he sees I'm filming, then he like moves my arm up. So I think he's like, as punishment for filming, I'm gonna manhandle you. You know what I mean? Which is super illegal for the police to do. Like you're not allowed to punish someone for filming. Maybe in North Korea you can, you know, but not in America.
North Korea, yeah, the North Korean hacker.
It's super illegal in America. At the end, he admits he's like, dude, the guy was filming, but I stopped it. You know, it's like
main kid had his phone recording.
Yeah, look, he's like, dude, bro, you'll never believe it. Reckless Ben was recording. I totally stopped it. Amazing. You my bro.
So I shut it off, but
very illegal for the police officer to do that. Like we have a right to film the police, so
we're gonna ask some questions, some fan questions. As you guys know, as always, the extended cut of this video is on my Patreon, and if you want to see all of the questions, that'll be in the extended cut on
court. But they like completely changed their attitude. They like sucked up to me today. They were like, oh my god, they're like super like nice to me today. It was crazy. They've all just like seen the videos and they're like, dude, this like the power of the internet is gonna like destroy us. I feel like they've seen like how the American Fork Police Department's like getting like taken down right now. So it's insane how they just like all like changed their attitudes. They were just like trying to like boss me around. Like I'm like, am I allowed to like I think the first time I was like, I don't even know why I'm here. Like you guys please tell me why I'm here, because like you guys redacted all my charges. And they're like, well, we can't give you your charges, or else you're gonna use it for your YouTube likes and subscribers and stuff. And I was like, if I like, what am I doing here that if you guys can't tell me? And they're like, we need you to keep these redactions on. And then the judge is like, Ben, do you have an argument of why we should take the redactions off? And I was like, because like they've been making a bunch of lies about me.
Okay, so some people have said there's been an update. I'm assuming it's an update on this one. Has there been an update? Let's take a look. No, there's been no update. Let me double check the docket. Yes, there's been no update on the civil lawsuit. Is there an update on the criminal? So if there's an update, that would be amazing to cover. Oop. Okay, so is there an update on the criminal? Either of the two criminal. So no, this is the update on the civil. There's no update on civil. Update on criminal. They're saying there's an update today, which is the 25th. I don't know if that's true. Let's take a look. It's very easy to see if somebody's lying or not. It's all in the court doc. No. Yeah, so there's no update. Maybe there will be an update later. It hasn't hit the doc yet, but...
about me, and I can prove this if you want to see all the evidence. And the judge is like, I don't want to see the evidence. I'm signing this protective order. You can't see what you're being charged for. And today they were just like completely attitude changed. They were just like, they just agreed with me on everything I said, and it was awesome today, actually.
So if I'm not mistaken, you're actually getting charged with the like terroristic threats that they obviously made up about you.
Yeah. What he said specifically is I'm going to burn down the building and shoot everyone inside. But it makes sense because like if this could destroy $100 million company, like he's going to do whatever he can to get me thrown in jail so I don't come out and like talk about his documentary. But yeah, I think he's kind of doing a weak attempt. He could have come with a better lie, you know, than like I'm gonna burn down the building and shoot everyone inside. Like he could have come with a better lie than that. I feel like good thing we were recording. If we weren't recording, then we wouldn't have had our proof. So yeah, I feel
like, how is this all going to go? It seems like this is either going to be like a historically insane thing, or you're going to be like massively screwed. There's no way that you can be screwed, right?
Just from 2 videos, I already have 11 court cases I'm in.
Considering all the wild stuff you've done, that you've never had this kind of legal problems, makes it that much more insane. Like, what do you hope to happen with the situation?
Ideally, that they just keep suing me and this keeps going on. I just hope they don't like give up and like pull out of the lawsuit, because then I like don't get any more content out of it. So I guess ideally they would just keep suing me. I just get to keep like doing what I'm doing. So it's pretty fun right now.
Reckless Ben in the eternal lawsuit.
I mean, my career's doing the best it's ever done.
And like save the day.
Now for a never before seen deleted clip from Ben's original video.
I just put it in there as parody of like, this is what we're tricking Amanda into believing. It actually worked. She closed down the store, you know? So that contract was always invalid from the start. And we actually filmed a deleted scene. We went to like the Salt Lake Flats or whatever, like the Salt Flats. And we knew that like it would be like the least amount of people. I could maybe send you some behind the scenes footage. But
that if the average person would think someone was misled into signing a contract, the law treats it as them being legally tricked. The standard in court is that if a normal person wouldn't have known what they were signing, a judge will definitely just throw it out.
Thank you, BlixMB. Thank you, BlixMB.
did the judge's work for them. I went out to the middle of nowhere because it's the least amount of people I have to interview to get the average answer.
Do you think we can interview you real quick? We're trying to take a really quick survey. It'll take like 10 seconds.
Yeah. This is what every single person said.
Clearly she was tricked.
Clearly, yeah. Since there's only one person in this area, the average answer is that Amanda was definitely tricked into signing this contract, which is not good for me. But once I give it to their legal team,
Oh God. Okay, this is funny.
they're gonna find out we don't have to listen to this at all. And maybe the Bricks and Minifigs legal team will say that about all the documents, in which case the owners don't show up to court and we win by default. Boom.
I don't know. It got like too confusing. I wanted to like loop on itself like an Inception, you know, like, oh, this is what the plan was. Just kidding, that wasn't what the plan was. But then that actually is what the plan was all along, is that we tricked her into thinking she wasn't tricked into thinking she was. And basically we wanted, because that's what Bricks and Minifigs was doing, is they were just using this confusing situation to get away with the crime. So we were like, oh, can we do the same thing? Can we use this confusing situation to get them to not trespass us, you know, kind of like use their own medicine against them was kind of the thinking here. But then it got too confusing where I was like showing it to some of my friends and it's just the edits like going over their heads and they're like, I don't understand this. And I'm like, well, that's the point. You're not supposed to understand it.
Around the time of editing this, CoffeeZilla, one of the biggest investigative YouTubers on the platform, released his own deep dive into the case. He interviewed every party involved, including the McNeff brothers, Crystal and Ben Gorman, and went through the internal point of sale records and inventory spreadsheets himself. What he found complicated the narrative a little bit. The remaining collection was never worth $200,000. That number came from an early estimate Crystal put out for the press release launch before a full inventory was done. The real figure, based on internal records, is closer to $107,000. Of that, about $24,000 worth was sold, and Brian was paid $17,000, which roughly tracks. CoffeeZilla also found evidence of a mysterious U-Haul in the parking lot the night of the takeover that corporate had denied existed until they were shown photographic proof.
He was supposed to release it like a week ago, but yeah. CoffeeZilla's making a video on this. I originally emailed him like the day it came out. I think I was like, hey, you should probably like do a story on this. Like, this is just like the beginning of the story, you know, like I might be getting sued for like a lot. So like if you talked about it, it might like really help. And he like emailed me back. He's like, hey, I've actually been following you since the Slackline days, which is sick. Like I did not expect for him to email back, which was insane. Cause like he's like one of my favorite YouTubers, you know, and he did. And he's like, yeah, but unfortunately I'm in like a bunch of scams, like doing a bunch of scams, like, which I totally get, you know, he probably has like 10,000 people emailing him every week. If he said yes to everyone, he would never be able to post any videos at all. I think like 3 days later, he messages me and he's like, actually, this is insane. I have to do a video on this. He's like, I'm putting everything else on pause. We are doing a video on this. And so he just starts like a week investigation, I guess. And I haven't seen the video yet, but he said he found some pretty crazy all the footage to prove my innocence. But it's crazy what like $100 million company will do if you're like threatening to destroy them. And this is their decision they're making. It's not extortion. They're the ones choosing to go the hard way, not me. If I was going to choose for them, I would have chosen the easy way, give Brian his Legos back.
We watched the beautiful sunrise here on and hopefully it was a bit of a stress reliever during this crazy time for you, Ben. I really appreciate you giving me the time.
Yeah, so shout out to Brandon Buckingham. Great interview with Ben. We learned some things that we didn't know already. I'm probably going to grab something to eat and then head off to buy some more Pokemon cards. But yeah, I mean, my main takeaway here is like this story is so crazy that like it's like the reason we don't really have like dockets as much is like it changes. Like I'm not joking. Like we had scheduled, like Alex was working on like a different video, and it changes like so fast that like I'm at home in Houston time at 1:30. I'm like, what is this? Oh shit, this is Tony Graff. And I was like, oh, what does it say? Oh wow, they didn't, you know, after a whole day of people celebrating, including myself, the TRO is modified, it's over, amazing, Ben will get part 3 out. Then you're looking at a literal document that says the judge is like, no, I'm not going to sign it. And you're like, oh shit, right? Because then all your content, so this is so crazy. Like, the content can shift so fast. Yeah, Alex Craig, yeah. The content can shift so fast that like you have to live stream it. Like yesterday, we had the breaking news, right? And I've multiple times we've been actually live streaming, and everything has changed like this. So it's really hard. Yeah. I forgot. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for reminding me. If you're interested in asking Sheldon any questions, we are expecting that Sheldon will be on. We're expecting to see and talk to Sheldon tomorrow. And if you have any questions for Sheldon, our link to new file. Oh Jesus. No. Okay, we have extra time. Okay, we'll go over this filing. Okay, holy moly. But I was going to say, if you have any questions for Sheldon, please leave them. Please go to Discord, and we will have a place that is obvious to leave any questions you have for Sheldon. This just got filed today. Holy moly. Thank you, Goosey. Like, I mean, literally I'm saying this, and I'm trying to, like, buy some Pokemon cards, and this gets, Okay, so plaintiffs file a joint response. The following joint response and or clarifications are believed to be dispositive. The language of the stipulated preliminary injunction was carefully designed by parties to modify and narrow the scope of the court's initial temporary restraining order. It has been submitted by stipulation, agreement, and joint motion of the parties. The identities of the parties, their franchisees, and business locations are a matter of public record. Who filed this? Oh, both of them, joint. Okay, so the identities of their franchisees, business locations are a matter of public record and are franchise bricks and minifigs retail businesses, each with branded storefronts. Okay, so this makes sense. It's easier to find this because it's public. The private home addresses of every franchisee owner and or employee may not be known, but such may be discoverable via public records. Okay, that's kind of weird. Like, so like, how many employees do they have? Like over 1,000, right? As to whether videos have been taken down, plaintiffs are unaware of any publications or any other videos being taken down. Nevertheless, the parties have agreed and acknowledged the proposed stipulation preliminary injunction is not intended to restrain lawful speech in any way, as it is their intention to allow a full, free, So, like, this is the franchise. Remember, the franchise owners, in my LinkedIn, they don't want this to be public discourse, but even Bricks and Minifigs believe this should be public discourse. And there should be a full and free discussion of subjects in this litigation, right? So, which they believe makes this issue moot. Accordingly, plaintiffs respectfully request the proposed stipulated preliminary injunction be entered as clarified in this joint response of the parties. Signature. But as you may know, there's one signature missing. Now, is this guy going to sign or not sign? We don't know. Yeah, so at this point in time, the TRO is still in effect. The judge said it was too general, too vague. And the response is, no, it's not too vague. We want the original one signed. Now it's going to be or we have clarified what our thoughts are. So it's interesting. Yeah, but we will have, we should have Sheldon on tomorrow. And, that's going to be interesting. Okay, so I got to head out. It is time for me to eat a quick snack. And then also buy some more Pokemon cards. Yes, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Nightbot. And then our Discord channel, please, if you have any questions, yes, let Sheldon know any questions. He might not be able to answer all the questions, but unless your question is really inappropriate or doesn't make sense to me, I will read every question that makes sense. Okay. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully Sheldon will be there as well. Bye, guys.